Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the Fireside podcast. I am Cerebral Caesarian. I'm joined by Brick, Lung, and PSP. We're going to be talking about T-34, a Russian movie about a tank, to put it simply.
Multiple tanks.
I think 2 tanks.
Several tanks. And
There's many tanks involved.
yes. And we initially got onto this particular movie per Lung's recommendation, if I'm correct.
Hold on, before we
Yes.
get into all of that, what are you guys drinking? Because we're all drinking, I think.
Yes,
Not
sir.
me.
Well, so apart from the purist, Mr. Lung over there.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
So Brick, what are you on?
No, I'll go last because I have
You'll
a whole
go last.
spiel.
Okay. CC, what are you at?
So I'm not going hard with it. I have some Baileys in my coffee. So
I sort of have something like that too.
Irish coffee.
No, I made a White Russian, to keep in spirit with the movie.
Oh, I see. Well,
So we've got it's got the Kahlua, it's got the coffee, it's got Baileys, it's got vodka, and it's got milk for it to be healthy.
Dude, you got milk? Tony the Tiger says you need it.
Yeah, it's got milk. Don't worry. And so I made like a full shaker of that. So I've got about 5 of them, and then I've got a 40 of acai, a nice dry
I have no
Japanese
idea
beer.
what that is.
It's a Japanese beer.
Look at you, all hoity-toity.
I was, like as I said, I was gonna line up a series of shots, but I just didn't have the time to make them. Every time a tank got destroyed, I was gonna take a shot, but
Every time a tank got destroyed. Well, as for me, I'm drinking Eastern European beer with, and I always say, if you can recognize the name of the thing, if you can read it, then it's not good beer. You gotta have beer that's like brewed in
In
like this
Latin.
grandpa. You gotta have beer that's like brewed in this grandpa's like bathtub and like canned in his in like an old radiator or something.
yeah,
I don't think
I remember.
radiators are capable of canning, but alright.
Yes, like and it
Radiator
should
is
be
the
made
can.
by this guy who's like, survived the Eastern Bloc and shit, and that's good
Well,
beer.
I mean,
It's cheap as
when
hell.
I was in Bulgaria, I had this like really cheap as shit beer that I like to drink. It was like Erendinger or something. Couldn't read it. It looked like Erendinger. It was good though.
Okay.
I think like we would come like down off the mountain after snowboarding, and it would be happy hour.
Snowboarding.
The first person
Cheers.
there would like order like 10 Stein glasses.
Bruh,
Yeah.
that sounds like fun. Anyway, so we're gonna be talking about this film. Since I don't have it, I don't think we're gonna go scene by. Are we going scene by scene or?
no.
There's
Uh,
not much scenes to go by scene. You could call most of it off your head, if I'm being quite frank.
To be honest, I kind of just wanted to talk about like the broad strokes of it. I thought it was generally like amazing. I thought it was a very good film. Like, I've been very cynical about like Hollywood stuff, but this film was quite good.
But it wasn't even made in Hollywood.
Well,
I know.
that's-
I'm saying that's why I'm not that cynical about it. That's why I
Yeah,
don't. I
because
kind of
it surprised me because like anything outside of Hollywood, I immediately go to Bollywood, and I'm like, oh, I don't want a musical number.
Well,
it wouldn't be from
Bollywood films
Bollywood
are-
either, because it wasn't made in fucking India.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So,
what do you call it? Rollywood from Russia?
I wouldn't know. It's from fucking Russia. I would just call it Slavic.
Yeah, but I
Slavic
generally liked it.
Slavic.
I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot because it does a lot of things that Hollywood kind of fails at. One is, first of all, showing your viewers that your protagonists are not impervious to danger. First of all, like they're always in danger, and they're always like, and they actually suffer for being in danger
Well, that was
because
it.
they
Like,
get captured.
I was watching this with Lung, and I like after the first like major tank battle, I was like, is this movie fucking over? Is like the main character just died?
Yeah, it's great because like you don't just necessarily like okay, you have one single protagonist kind of, but you follow a group of them.
Mm-hmm.
You follow like two groups of them, and both of them are like always in danger, and if you blink, one of them will die, and it's like, and because the film puts them in danger, you have this real feeling of tension, and the adrenaline actually builds. And even though you don't spend a lot of time with these characters, you kind of grow to like them. Maybe not get super attached to them, but because they have personalities, even in their few lines that they speak. Like one of them that stands out to me was like near the end of the film, where uh our main character he asks his group like which one of you are daredevils, and this guy he says, don't ask me that, just give me orders and I'll do it.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that. And he died soon after.
No, he didn't die.
I loved the I really loved
no
the
he
part.
died he died after getting shot up by the tank, right?
No.
No, I'm pretty sure
No, he didn't.
died into the
Well,
woman.
he kind of. I don't know if he died or didn't.
He was pretty.
No, he didn't die. He makes it to the end.
paralytic.
Yeah, he was still
But
alive by
they
the
were
time.
carrying
they
Oh
were-
wait, no, yeah, he was still alive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
anyway,
Carried him in a stretcher.
That's-
Anyways, I was gonna say what I liked the best of Brick mentioning that was there was a part where like he's mentioning characters. There was a part where one of them straight up they're like going to Berlin to loot it and shit, but they're like, no, it's not looting. We're just getting some new clothes and shit. And one of them like takes a Christian picture out of the place they're taking shit from, and he takes it into the tank and he hangs it up next to him on the wall and like prays to it when they're being shot at.
Yeah,
there's those little things. Like to be honest, I went into it not expecting much. I don't know why. Like, I have no like previous perception of Russian media, and like I was quite surprised by like how well the movie turned out to be. Like it was done quite professionally. Like it was Hollywood standard. Well, better than Hollywood standard.
I think better than
Hollywood's went down
like,
the shitter these days, but like
the CGI was brilliant.
yeah. Like, it was
I love the is it? You can see that as soon as you started too, the tank shots and everything.
That too. Like,
yeah.
I mean, in Kong, like you could tell, like, and in the very beginning, like they have those World War II planes flying in, and like the CGI is shit for them. And this entire movie has like an entire budget that is like,
it's literally
like
a tenth of that. I think this had a budget of like 15 million. Like,
at 15, I thought it was,
yeah.
It was either 15 or 10, but like it was like either a tenth of the budget of Kong of like 180 million, and it looks infinitely better.
Yeah, it was 10 actually. You're right. It was even less than I thought. It has a budget of.
So, like, I imagine if they had a giant furry monkey, it would look even better.
Yeah, so this had way a fraction of the budget, and it looked way better. And even compare that to any other given like modern film stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
like we even saw like the same.
Compare that to
like
Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah,
same kind of era.
Same kind of thing, and that's the thing. It's a weird thing. Like these, like foreign movies, like between like this and Shin Godzilla, when you compare like the bigger budgets, it's like way less of like a fraction of cost. They make it actually look like closer to, if not better than what they have. I'm just
you do wonder then in Hollywood where the hell the money goes, because if these other countries able to put out content that is just as good or better with a fraction of the budget, what the hell are they wasting their money on?
Great question. I mean,
yeah,
I have a million theories. All of them are going to be insulting to Hollywood.
Well, let's go for it.
I absolutely believe, like, okay, first of all, I think Hollywood's a giant scam. Like, I think all of these, like, billions of dollars, like, I don't think they go anywhere, to be honest. I honestly do not believe that hundreds of millions of dollars are spent on a movie. It's very hard for me to, like, even the bigger ones like Endgame and such, I can't see where hundreds of millions of dollars go in.
No,
so it went into paying the big actors who you saw on screen for 2 seconds to say some quip or catchphrase.
Like, yeah, but like the actors don't get paid. I mean, what do they get paid? Like maybe 2 million?
Some of them get paid like tens of millions. Like,
it is ridiculous what they get paid.
The
Oh,
one
yeah,
just
for
saying that
sure.
one unfunny quip on the screen for
Yeah.
all of 2 seconds.
Like, Dwayne Johnson got paid $87 million last year.
For
God
his
damn,
movies.
that's
Yeah, just
Did
like
his movies,
broadly,
did
you
his movies
know.
even gross that?
Yeah, like I just googled like highest paid actors, like Dwayne Johnson 87 million, Ryan Reynolds 71 million. I don't even know what Mark Wahlberg's been in. He made 58 million. Like,
what. Yeah, what was Mark Wahlberg even in?
I don't know if he's in movies anymore. I
Dude.
know he did.
Dude, the
Daddy's
budget for T-34 was 10,000 USD.
Son. No.
10
That's
10 million USD.
Oh, 10 million. Oh, sorry, 10 million USD.
That's
Sorry, my
still-
bad.
no,
I mean, you have
That's
to
still
consider
very
something
low.
important. You
Yeah.
have to
No,
consider
yeah,
something
yeah.
important, which I mean, maybe
It's extremely
noteworthy,
low.
is that none of the actors were really like. I don't think anything huge. I don't even know if they were huge in Russia. They were just people.
Well, I mean, I can't judge actors by Russian standard. Like, I mean,
Well,
I'm just-
I can't judge actors by Russian standards, but when I look at T-34 and I look at any big Hollywood schmollywood movie, it's like, oh, that you people will go like, oh, that had whoever the fuck, and
Yeah.
I'm like, who?
Yeah.
But, like,
Meanwhile,
I'm
in
not familiar with-
T-34, I didn't even know who they were. I just knew they did a good job. And
Yeah,
that's
I'm
the
not
way-
Yeah,
familiar
I think-
with Russian big names. Like, their house brand actors could be in this, but I wouldn't know. Some of them did look familiar, to be honest. Like, I've seen them in other shit.
I mean, one of them looked like Russian Ewan McGregor. So
That was it. Was it? No, maybe it was that. I just thought he looked like someone. But I'm pretty sure, like the German captain of the opposite tank in the beginning. I thought I've seen him in something before, but I don't know.
yeah, I think they're just like it's just because white people look all the same.
Whoa,
Just-
all right, Brownie.
Listen here, poo in the loo.
Are
But
Russian
yeah,
people white people?
I'm not sure.
Not
They're
anymore. I'm not sure
communists, so-
because I think Russians are still white, but Slavic countries are now people of color.
Oh yeah, no, I remember that. Oh yeah, his name is the Nazi tank guy. His name is Vincent Kiefer, and he is a German actor. Actually,
You've been in other shit.
he's a German
see over
actor.
here.
Yeah.
All right, so
Wait, yes, he had you recognize him for a reason because he played the antagonist in Jason Bourne.
Maybe that was it.
That I mean, it's one of the worst Bourne films, but he was in it,
First
so
Jason
that's
Bourne?
why you. Yeah, Jason Bourne was the 2016 one.
yeah, that was
It's
like
the last one, I think.
That was like the semi-reboot one. He was also in Cobra 11, and he's one of the bad guys in Speed Racer.
Oh yeah, Speed Racer. But yeah,
So he's
he
branched
is
out to Hollywood as
actually. I think it's because he played Christian Dassault in Jason Bourne because he was actually he. What do you call it? He was the main antagonist, I think, for that
Mhm.
one,
Yeah, then
and
the
that's why I think
guy-
we recognize it.
like the guy who plays the protagonist. He's been in all sorts of different Russian things. Like, yeah, he's been an actor in like
The
50
Sidorov
movies.
guy. No,
Yeah,
Yeah, so like maybe
Sorry,
maybe
Petrov.
he is, like
yeah, Petrov.
Alexander
He's got-
Petrov.
He's got
Russian
54
high school
credits
name.
on IMDb.
jeez.
Yeah, so he's
I
been in
mean-
a lot. So he's obviously a decent actor.
And okay, so about the Hollywood thing. Hello to chat, Hamad. So I think like to get good films now, I think we have to look outside the borders of Hollywood. I recently saw you know the guy who made what's the film In Bruges, Martin McDonagh. He makes really good films, and he's like from Ireland, and so basically films that are made outside of Hollywood by non-Americans. I think that's where we're gonna have to go for good films, because honestly, this film
Careful.
was
Because people are fans
refreshing.
of
Was
Sundance.
refreshing to me. Okay, maybe not France. Like, let's stay out of France.
No
and all,
Hollywood
like,
and no
we-
France.
Smell
Yeah,
He said-
no
he
France,
said made
for
by
sure.
foreign people. Like, we gotta have that qualifier.
Yeah, no France. Yeah, we're gonna just remove that entire country. Like I don't even think it exists.
Work goes to bed and he's like, France doesn't exist, just like my dog's nipples.
Like Brick was
Yeah,
apparently
they
like
don't.
dreams of that utopia where Germany took over France and everyone was just like, all right.
Yeah, I think I like, you know, even if
I mean,
uh,
what if Britain was just like Germany's taking over France? Fuck them.
the
I'd like
liberation
to
was
point out we
of
haven't
France
even
was a
covered the movie.
mistake.
Covering
Sorry,
the
what?
subject.
So
We're talking about stuff.
The movie. We're talking about Hollywood.
Yeah, but okay, so
Well, I'll
Can
tell
you
you what
tell
then. To
how
end
much we hate
on
Hollywood?
to end on the Hollywood thing then, because I'll say my hypothesis for why there's so much bloat is not even like I'll say this. Let's say I ignore all the like shit of like corruption or money going nowhere. I think you have a lot of people who are not particularly invested or talented in Hollywood, but still try and churn out shit. So it takes a lot longer, and they get paid a lot more. So that's why
Oh,
their
you mean the
movies.
people that slept their way to the top and then complained about it?
Well, not even that.
honestly, American.
I'm talking
The-
about like
my-
incompetent like CG artists and shit. As in, you have like just imagine like a crew, like 100 not particularly competent CG artists, and they're not passionate and they're not skilled, but they can still churn out like okay enough products. But since they take more time and they have such a big inflated sense of ego because they work in Hollywood, they get paid several
Yeah.
times more and take several times longer, so they get even
you also
more
have to
money
be in the
because they
right
get
team.
paid for how long they work on it. So, oops, I just
Right.
like quintupled your budget.
You also have to have that
Like,
right,
it's not
thanks
just
for
CG.
Hollywood.
I can overlook bad CG. That's not a problem. My biggest issue is the writers. I think American writers just can't write anymore. Like,
Well, they're
uh,
probably scared too.
it's honestly like a cultural problem. Like now, like so many people are just so afraid of stepping on toes that they have to, and they have to have these like quotas and stuff. It's like
Show your dog.
I have this quota for yeah. Sorry, 1 sec. Okay, you guys go on. So
Shouldn't Hollywood
You
boys?
can't decide what to do.
I would just bring the dog personally.
You'd give your dog nipples so it'd stop barking.
Turn on the webcam, bring on the dog. We'll probably double our viewership immediately.
Is your dog a male? Does it have nipples?
He says it doesn't, but I don't believe him.
right,
will-
so like I was saying, the issue. Okay, hold on. You guys go ahead. I'll deal with this.
All right,
Again.
Lung, why don't you start off with us talking about the film actually?
Why am I doing this?
Because you
This is
brought
your
it up,
style.
and this is your film. You do it. Go, please.
My
Thank
film.
you.
I didn't make it. What part of production did I have in this film?
You
Uh,
definitely profited from this movie. I'm pretty sure the link that we watched
you-
it had like a fucking, what do you call it, associate link attached to it for you.
You let
I
them
don't
breathe.
know
You are the
what part
lung
of this
after all.
movie I made.
Yeah.
I didn't allow them to breathe. What?
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. To be more succinct, you were the one who originally suggested we watch this movie, and you also were the one to bring up that we've been talking about Hollywood and not the movie. So please give us a starting point.
Okay,
Why
wait, no,
putting
but
this on
before
me? Why don't you do it?
hold
You
on,
see, now
before
he's back.
we-
now he's gonna talk about something else.
yeah, of course I'm going to talk about something else. The thing I'm saying is like I think Hollywood writers just can't write anymore. So I just think
mine is like 20 things a minute.
yeah. So I mean,
the
it's
office.
just they're so afraid of like stepping on people's toes that we have these
Also,
really
yeah.
shit. We have these
would
really.
say some of
we
them
have-
are afraid, and then some of them are off that mindset. You know,
and they just suck at writing. Like
it is,
they-
yeah. They suck
just-
at writing because they have to fit in all these like certain niches that nobody actually gives a fuck about apart from them.
I see, like I'm not even gonna, I'm not gonna go into all this like woke bullshit
No, I
and
know.
all that shit. Like instead of going there, like because that's a whole other discussion, let's just hone in on one thing, and that's that they just can't tell compelling stories anymore. The stories that Hollywood tells, like I've seen recently, like I like in preparation for our video, mine and Cece's video, I've been rewatching Mandalorian season 2, and if you watch it more than once, it's the most boring and bland action series ever seen. And I watched Star Trek
Ever
Discovery.
seen? I
Like it's I've and then
man, like
You know-
I know the show has issues, but like I don't I don't think it's the worst action show. I've
Yeah,
ever
but the thing
seen,
is, like, I've
man.
seen this like 3 times, okay, and maybe that's coloring my thing. But okay, the
There goes
other
Brick
thing,
talking about color again.
like
um,
go watch like season 6 onwards of like the Blacklist, and then you'll understand that what you're missing out
Right,
on.
but what I'm
of,
saying is,
shit
like-
TV.
like compare that to this film and see how the action is different, because
Talking
we
about
have
this film so much, we haven't even talked about it.
we have
Then you
real
start talking
stakes.
about it, Lung.
I can't.
Hold on.
Listen to Brick. He's so
Let me-
passionate.
Let me finish this. In this
See?
film, we have real stakes. We care about our characters, even though they don't say much. Even though it's extremely action packed, they don't say much, but they say a lot within the few lines that they do say, because the writing is good, right?
I wouldn't say it was extremely action packed. Like we didn't have times where they were like, "Oh, I'm gonna go James Bond knock out 2 fucking guards." They literally never. did
Yeah,
that.
but in the scope of the film, each character didn't have much time to actually flesh
Action
out
was
their
at its
character.
center.
Yeah, but like the film itself was very short. Was it like 1 hour and 45 minutes, or like not 1 hour and 20 minutes or something like that? Wait,
I mean,
hold
as
on,
far
I'm
as
not
movie
sure.
goes these days, it was fairly short. Yeah, it wasn't like a 2 hour and a half long movie.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's actually 2 hours and 19 minutes. Wow, it
Well,
was.
fuck me then, I guess.
Jeez, it didn't
See, I
feel
thought it was only like
at all.
90 minutes, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it didn't lull anywhere. Like I thought it was a pretty short movie, but I guess I was fucking wrong.
Yeah,
No,
same.
I knew it was long. You people were all talking like it's short, and I think that's
It-
just
it
because
just-
the
it just
plot is
felt
simple.
short.
It's not.
Think-
The plot isn't so converted that it's like, oh, now I'm gonna turn on you, or oh, now like this thing
Yeah, I mean,
happens. It's
Like I was
straight
never
and simple.
bored. I was never bored during the movie.
Yeah, I never felt like, oh, this is dragging on and such.
Well, yeah, maybe on that sense, if it feels like it's paced well, we aren't paying attention to how much time has passed. Whereas if it's like a bloated movie, you know, like have you ever seen like Transformers 5? You're like, how long have I been sitting here? And it's like, this movie's almost 3 hours. What on earth am I doing with that? If you ever want something to watch while shit-faced, that movie is great for it. It's absolute absurdity, and it's god-awful, but Anthony Hopkins is hilarious in it, because he doesn't give a fuck, and he's just there for a paycheck. He kills Megatron with his cane shotgun.
Oh right, I actually remember that.
It was so
Was that the
dumb.
one with the Arthur stuff?
Yeah, where it turns out
Was
that
it-
Mark Wahlberg is King Arthur.
Like how? And it turned out that what's that? Merlin's wand like controlled like a Transformers dragon or
Yeah, it was
something.
given to him by Transformer, who is a good guy, so he could control a robot dragon to defeat whoever he was fighting. And and then they're like, "Oh shit, Stonehenge is like where Unicron is," and it's like that's where the planet's gonna blow up. And and I'm not kidding. Everything I just said actually happens, and the movie takes it completely seriously.
I think I watched like the first 2 Transformer movies, and I was just like, nah, fuck this noise. I was here for Shia LaBeouf and no one else.
Really, Shia LaBeouf. Come on, dude. You gotta pick better actors.
Nah, man, go Mark Wahlberg, because Mark Wahlberg knew these movies were shitty when he signed on, so he just coasts on that, like, in both of the movies.
Oh,
he's
Mark
in.
Wahlberg absolutely doesn't care in Transformers films. It's
Yeah, I
great.
mean, I like Wahlberg. I like Marky Mark well enough.
Yeah.
He's not a very good actor. Anyway,
not
let's not.
Well,
He's
he
not good.
can be a good actor. I've seen him act well in other things, but
What was that one he
In
did?
films,
Was it Pain or what? Something? No Pain. I don't know. It was
Pain
like
and
one where
Gain.
that was it.
Pain
that
and
was good.
Gain. Yeah, that was great.
And
That was a good film. That was a good film. Yeah, I enjoyed that
there was
one.
another one where he was like a art thief or some shit. I don't know.
Anyway, let's talk about the film, and then we can move on
Let's.
to other dumb shit. So basically, in this film, we follow this new, like he's a new commander, is he? He's just like graduated or
no.
something, and he's putting.
I don't even know. I'm pretty sure he just like I don't even know his introduction that well, and I watched the movie
I'm pretty
twice
sure
now.
he was like
He literally
pre-established.
drives a truck of food over, finds a Panzer III that shoots at him, and then somehow narrowly escapes. Right?
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, okay, yeah. Let's talk about that opening scene for a minute. So he's basically transporting food, in a truck.
Got a
And
shitty little
he-
Zis 3 truck.
Yeah, in a really terrible
Zis
truck.
30 truck.
And he's basically he finds an enemy Nazi tank,
Wait, that's
and he tells his co-pilot, not co-pilot, whatever, the guy sitting next to him to start counting down from 4, and every time it hits 4, he swerves the truck really hard because on 4 is when it takes about around 4 seconds to reload the large gun.
So
and
the
the
guy
tank.
clearly has experience dealing with like opposing
So
faction
the tank did not
tanks.
have a large gun; it had a very small gun.
Whatever,
Yeah,
the bigger
tank
one,
gun,
you know.
the loud
The
bang
main gun.
whatever.
Whatever it is. And
See the dog nose.
And
It's like,
okay,
it's
so
not a large gun. Woof.
You fucking dumbass.
okay, so then but then on the last shot, he doesn't the opposite the guy who's at the helm of the opposing tank.
Let me fucking fix everything he's
All right.
saying because he's drunk as hell. Okay, so they're they're literally driving this truck. It's like a piece of shit Zis truck, which is basically like your standard ass truck. It's long, doesn't it have anything in the? It's got a generic bed in the back. It's just crappily made of sheet metal, really quickly.
Imagine the shittest
And-
Ford pickup you know.
And basically, they're running away from fucking. They're not running away. They're trying to deliver food. And they come across this Panzer III, and their plan is okay. Every time I count to 4, like you're gonna count to 4. And every time you hit 4, I'm gonna fucking swerve the truck, and that's because the loader in the Panzer III is going to finish loading, and the tank gunner will have shot at us. So at 4, I'll swerve. And I do that like 3 or 2 times in a row, and then the tank gunner's like, "Well, hang on. Every time I'm about to shoot, they dodge it. God damn it!" So they're right at the hill. They're just about to cross over a hill, and the tank gunner's like, "Okay, if I just don't shoot at 4," and this isn't verbally said either. The tank gunner just sits there and he's like, "If I just don't shoot at 4, and I wait for them to hit that hill, which is." They'll literally be in my dead zone. They'll get fucking blown up.
It's an example of
So finally they count to 4, swerve, and then the tank doesn't shoot. So he goes, "Oh fuck, the tank didn't shoot. Stop." So they stop the truck, and the tank fires just as it assumes they're going to move. And this piece of shit Zis truck it's lucky enough to stop just at the right moment for the tank shell to go right past him and hit a power line. And they zoom over the hill. They're gone. No more Panzer III.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that bit because it showed like this is one thing that I really enjoyed. It was that they showed their enemy as being smart people. You know, generally speaking, you like especially lately
Stormtroopers, you say.
Usually in later Hollywood stuff, like more recent Hollywood stuff, you see them just being completely stupid and completely useless. And you have your it's been true.
Yeah. You've got your cannon fodder allies and you've got your cannon fodder enemies.
Exactly. Yeah.
They just literally to run out and die.
Yeah, main characters are always safe in Hollywood.
Yeah, they're all extremely safe. Like if you watch any of the newer MCU films, yeah.
Oh, off he
well,
goes.
if you watch it,
Then
I mean, we know where he was going. Because like the main characters in this movie, like the tank crew, they do die, they do get injured, sometimes quite badly. I mean. The main character.
The concept of a tank is, let me write this out for anyone who's like 5 years old and doesn't know how a fucking tank works, is that you have frontal armor, side armor, rear armor, and we're not going to talk about the top and bottom. That's irrelevant. Those are like the lightest armor on the tank, because generally you're not going to be shot from the bottom of the tank, you're going to be shot from the top of the tank. So the front armor is the strongest. That's generally where you're going to be shot at from. That's where you're going to engage from. The side armor is like the mediocre point, and the rear armor is the worst point because that's not where people are going to generally shoot you at. So when the tank engages people, the crew generally is shooting at their front, but sometimes tanks shoot them at their side, and sometimes it penetrates, sometimes it doesn't, because they're like at the start of the movie, they're in shitty little Panzer IIIs. And,
Okay, so
what ends up happening is that the crew gets hurt sometimes because the side armor is just not the best.
Mm-hmm.
right. So like I was saying, I think the way this yeah, so in Hollywood, like especially lately with like the new MCU films and all of that, you can see your protagonists always be extremely safe and extremely just protected by plot, right? The entire plot is based on how your protagonist will be vanquishing his or her enemy.
I mean, in those type of movies, like there is some like faux peril that's injected. Like, oh no, Thor is down on the ground and bleeding. Let's see. Oh, he's now more powerful than ever. Okay.
Yeah, but then in this film, you really feel the humanity of them because they die, they get captured, and they're really just they're put through the ringer. They're put through the ringer.
I mean, and just none of this shit happens off the bat. What happens is that
the food truck has now escaped that first tank, and
they escaped the first tank. They arrive at the outpost, and he's like, "I need a commander."
Oh wait, hold on. Before you go ahead, sorry, before the dog interrupted me, I wanted to say like they show their enemies as extremely smart people. Like it's like PSP said, they don't say it out loud, but that guy is like, oh, you're basically timing and I'm basically firing on the reload. So maybe if I just wait for it, and then you like, it doesn't have to be said. It's all visual storytelling. It's the guy.
It's what you sitting there watching the movie. It's like, well, if I was there, I would just wait an extra second.
And the other thing is, we don't know that this is our protagonist. This could just be like an opening scene to set up the film. Right, because we don't know that they're our protagonist. So then that tension, they build the tension in you. It's like, oh, are these people going to survive? The other guy has been smart about it. He's waiting on his last shell. So and then when they kind of like stop or they break just and the shell just goes right past them, and that the tension is released, and you're like, oh shit, this is good filmmaking. I love that scene a lot. I was immediately sold on this film when I saw that first scene. It was great.
I mean, like a lot of times
they take the food truck that narrowly gets shot at to the outpost, and one of the Russians is like, "Hey, I need a new commander." Literally all our tanks are kind of. I don't know what he says precisely. He says something about all the tanks somewhere else, and they're like, okay, well, I'll be your tank commander. One of the guys who's just driving the food truck. And he's like, okay, you're your tank commander now. And he puts him in a T-34, which was Russia's stereotypical tank during Operation Barbarossa.
I have to stop you here for a second.
God damn you.
He's not just a food truck driver, because he also...
No, he definitely has military experience.
Yeah, he doesn't have military experience. He doesn't have military experience, because that's a thing.
Yeah, he doesn't have experience, but he's from the tank academy.
But he has a lot of training, because he has been trained in tanks and all of that stuff. And he says that he passed at the top of his grade in tank classes or whatever the hell that was.
Yeah, I went to tank school.
Like very.
Yeah, so
smart,
let's not sell this guy short. Let's not sell.
He knows what he's doing, obviously.
What ends up happening though is that he gets put in as a tank commander, and they put him in a T-34, which is Russia's stereotypical tank during Operation Barbarossa. And so he gets put with these new guys, and they're all like, okay, you're the commander now, I guess. And he says, okay, first thing we're going to do is go to this piece of shit village. It's already been evacuated, and we're going to go defend it, so the Germans don't just run us over. And they're like, well, you sure you want to do that, Commander? There's no tank support. There's nothing there. we're just going to die. We're going up against an entire German tank brigade, and you're sending us to this shitty little village. Are you sure about
And
this?
I think they say that they're gonna get infantry support, but no tank support. I believe.
They only get like 2 guys.
They get like 2 guys and a gun. Like that's it.
2 guys and an anti-tank gun. Yeah. So, anyways, they get to the village, and their first idea for defending the village, despite the crew really just not wanting to be there because it's very clearly suicide, is to hide the T-34 in a bale of hay.
Mm-hmm.
It's a reinforced bale of hay. It's not just hay. It looks like hay, but like they've put like a shield in front of it.
We got a what in front of it?
It's like a wooden. It's got a
It's not just like straw. It's like a fake bale of hay. It's like they have.
It's a bale of hay. I think there may be a structure underneath it, but it's mostly made out of wood. But I'm not too sure. It's
just
makeshift.
Like give off the shape of
goddamn hay. So, anyways, they put the T-34 in hay, and they hide it under there. Like they just quickly, because they just got this village quickly, and the Panzer Brigade's already fucking arriving. So their response is to go and pile it in the hay. And then we get a shot of the Panzers approaching. And the Panzers, there's at least like 10, 12 tanks. I'd say about like 4 Panzer IIs, which I don't even see attack. They're in the shot, but I don't see them attack.
I don't think they got time.
The anti-tank.
Here's the reason the Nazis don't just roll through, because the tank commander, who turns out to be the main antagonist of the film, he says, "Look, I can't hear dogs barking. I can't hear birds chirping. Something's wrong here.
Yeah,
there's something wrong here. So we're gonna wait, and we're not gonna just run through." And I like that. Like,
the Panzer commander halts the entire tank brigade.
Scene that you see
approach on the town.
later
They
again.
notice it's oddly quiet, and there's no civilians flopping about.
Yeah, but it's like, so you see him do it at this stage in the movie, and then later on you see our protagonist do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
The reversal of roles.
Yeah, so then what our protagonists do is they basically sacrifice their anti-tank gun, because they kind of like put it conspicuously in a window, because they're like, okay, these guys are not gonna roll through, they're not gonna attack, they're waiting, and the longer they wait, the more likely it is that they spot this fake bale of hay, because it doesn't last long under scrutiny, because we know that we just made it. So they were like, okay, we're gonna put this anti-tank gun in the window of a barn, and we're gonna make them roll through. We're going to bait them into starting the attack, so we can attack from the side. And I like that a lot.
Actually, they
go on.
fire out of the hay bale and the anti-tank gun. But anyways, the Panzer commander, they had an entire army again. There was about 4 Panzer IIs, and the rest are just Panzer IIIs, which I'd say is the L variant, but I could be wrong. Basically, a Panzer III, for anyone unfamiliar, has a 50-millimeter gun. It's long, though, which means it has better penetration, but better penetration doesn't mean jack fucking shit when your projectile is small as hell. The T-34 has a 76-millimeter gun, which is just not very hard to be better than a Panzer III, which is just a cardboard box with wheels. So, anyways, the commander stops the tank brigade, and he's kind of looking around, and then immediately, he notices, I think it's a tank behind him or a tank in his brigade, just gets blown the fuck up by the T-34, I believe, and then the anti-tank gun starts going off for the Russians. And then someone else just go over this fight scene, because I am just.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I thought we were more talking like broad strokes instead of a scene by scene.
Yeah, we could.
It's a pretty cool fight scene.
Because I'll just say,
so he starts in the hay.
To go over the fight scene, essentially, it's a 1-by-1 of the Russians fighting the Germans in this town, and the T-34. There's a really cool scene in this barn where the T-34 is just going through as the Germans attempt to flame it out, which you're probably thinking, well, that doesn't work on tanks, but if someone takes a flamethrower to you and you're stuck in a piece of metal, you will get your ass burnt. and you
You'll
will want to
eventually.
leave the tank. But there's a really cool scene in the barn where they're like trying to run from the fucking Germans, just catching the tank on fire. And
it's a cool scene because like there's scenes like they go into houses and like line up to shoot out the window. They just like bust through house walls.
no, they don't.
to,
They
like,
don't go in the houses. They're like this. They're the T-34s in a barn, and they're like outside of the
Oh
barn
yeah, no,
with
like, one of
flamethrowers.
house, or was it? It was one of the Panzers, maybe the one. I don't know.
Anyways, there's another scene where they're dancing through houses, and eventually it ends with the Panzer III, because there's a lot of them. The Panzer III commander luckily penetrates the T-34 at one point, and I think it knocks out the hull gunner, which is about as useless as a fucking fish with legs at that point, because the fucking hull gunner has no people to shoot at, and for reference, he's shooting like an MG40, a DP at people, which is like a machine gun. He's shooting a machine gun at people on foot. But so since there's no people at this point, his job is useless, and him dying means not a whole lot to me because I know tanks, kinda. So in response, they're all kind of freaking out, like, "Oh shit, they penetrated us. What do we do?" And they start moving their tank again after the Germans think they got them. And the Germans are like, "Hang on, we thought we just fucking killed that tank. What's going on here?" And eventually, I think they're like, the T-34 is engaging the commander tank, and the commander tank luckily takes out its fuel, which blows the interior of it up. Well, not really blows it up, but more so sets anyone's asses inside it on fire, which causes the tank essentially to be disabled. And it ends with where PSP was like, "Did the movie just end to me?" Where
because like it took out the battalion at that point. They were still at that point.
They're crawling out of the tank. It looks like their tank is blatantly fucked here. The T-34 did end up shooting back at the
commander's tank. The German commander's tank.
It shot back at the German commander tank, and so their tank gets fucked, and then the T-34 is fucked, and they're crawling out of the T-34, and they're wounded. And the T-34 commander from the food truck from earlier is dragging out the driver and the sorry, I'm like playing a game while I try to remember what's going on here. Then what do you mean? You
Very
dedicated. You three are
line.
getting fucking drunk. Shut the fuck.
Yes, but we're drunk.
We're allowed.
Yeah, see, you're just making bullshit up. Okay, anyways, he carries out his driver, and what ends up happening is that the German Panzer commander breaks out of the hatch with a Luger or some type of fucking German pistol, and then he shoots at the Russian commander and the fucking driver until like the scene just fades to black.
You know,
it's basically over here.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah,
no, sorry. The Russian
we
misses
find
the German.
out
The
that,
German hits him right away.
The Russian didn't shoot him.
Yeah, the Russian takes out a pistol too, but he runs out of ammo.
He runs out of ammo before that guy even comes out of his the hatch.
Yep.
You know, I'm just for this movie. I don't remember any of the characters' names because they're all fucking
Russian and European.
Yeah, so like without looking up the cast, I can't tell you that the main character's name was Alexander.
Yeah, I would refer to them as loader, gunner, hull gunner, and
commander,
driver.
Yeah,
the
he's
driver
Boris. He's Evgeny.
No, fuck you. So the only way to remember the main cast if you're incompetent is...
I know the main character's name is Alexander Petrov. I remember that.
I'm pretty sure that's Call of Duty. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, no. Sorry. His name is Ivushkin. Sorry, I had to look that up. I was wrong.
I like PlayStation Portable's immediate response of just no.
I know my Russians.
Yeah, his name is Ivushkin.
I don't know his name, but I know him.
Yeah, the main character is Ivushkin, and then like the enemy commander is Klaus Jäger.
Is that really his name?
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Yeah, right Klaus Jäger. Like,
he's like evil Santa.
It's like the most stereotypical. Like, everybody knows what Jaeger means in goddamn German. Even the Japanese know.
What does it mean?
From Attack on Titan.
Means
it means like hunter. It means hunter.
Okay.
Yeah, Jaeger in World War II generally meant recon forces, which were
What was
hunting
the,
forces. There you go.
What was the bad guy in Die Hard? He was Russian too.
What does this have to do with
What was he
anything?
doing? I don't know. I'm pretty sure he had one of them kind of names. I'm gonna look it up. Leave me alone.
Anyways, so the
Sorry,
scene
my
fades
girlfriend
to
brought me
black,
tickets.
and we end up going, I'd say about 4 years. Because it seemed like fuck.
It
A
was like
while.
3 or 4
Operation
years.
Barbarossa started. I'm supposed to be good at this. Curses.
Anyway,
my
they
RAM
get
is dying.
captured now. I think the bunch of them.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
there
okay.
was
So what
only
ends
two.
up happening?
Yeah, the ones that
There was
don't
only
die
two
get
alive.
captured. Yeah.
Yeah. So the commander and the driver of the Russian team get captured because they're still
Okay, so it's about 1941 when the Operation Barbarossa starts. So I'd say it's the dawn of 1941. So it's about it's about 3 years after that, and we start the scene with essentially, I believe it was
the train.
Trying to recall. Oh yeah, the train. They're bringing them into a concentration camp.
Wait, sorry. 1 second. The bad guy from the first Die Hard movie was called Hans Gruber, the guy that
Hans
Alan
Gruber.
Rickman played.
What does this have to do
I
with
just want to say
anything?
funny names.
Stereotypically German names. That's the like.
But he's
thing.
Hans
Hans-
Kruger. I don't
Hans
care.
Gruber.
Hans Gruber.
All right. So anyway, they get captured. I think.
Yeah, they get captured.
And
we
yeah,
get
we
this
see
scene of a
another
train,
really
and
nice
it's just
scene.
dropping them off at a concentration camp, and it's got to be the best concentration camp you've ever been to because they got a fucking band. They got a whole band playing for you. They got a translator who translates it into Russian for you while they whip you. You know.
Yeah, it's a nice touch.
You gotta have a pretty good concentration camp. I mean, at least you got the band and the translator, so you know not to do whatever you're doing.
In my lifetime, I've been to resorts where they haven't had an English translator that was any good, so you know.
So, anyways, what ends up happening is that we get this scene where they're letting all the prisoners off the train. The officer, what was it? The officer says something about like dropping to the ground, which I think was to
lying
show
down.
obedience. Yeah,
They
I'm
should
pretty
all
sure
lie
it's to show
down.
obedience. And
Yeah.
what ends up happening is that when they're told to do that, this one Russian just stands up and he's like this bearded shaman looking fucker.
That's the commander.
No, you shut up. Anyways,
you don't know that yet.
Yeah, you don't know that yet. That's not the twist.
You think he died?
And what ends up happening is that the officer points the gun at his head and he's like, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing? You better sit down." He's like, "No, I'm gonna stand up." I'm gonna stand up. I don't want to. And in response, the officer puts his gun to his head and pulls the trigger. And from here, we would see the homeless guy die, except the gun just doesn't have enough ammo.
No, it jams or something.
Yeah, it jams. I don't think there's a bullet in the chamber or something, but the officer says that you're lucky, and he's just like, I'm not. He just doesn't shoot him because he's like, well, you know, God seems to be on your side. I'm not even going to bother.
Lugers back then, I'm pretty sure, weren't waterproof, and it was like torrential rain.
Yeah, it was raining. Yeah,
misfired because of water
damage. Water in it. Yeah, you have like a good reason for it as well because it would pour and rain. So that can mess up your internals.
So this man was saved by God.
Pretty much.
And so then later the tank commander who shot him, he says that you're gonna train our tank troops, right?
Well, I mean,
okay.
This guy is tortured for a while though.
Before we even get to that part, because that part doesn't happen yet. But essentially, after failing to die, they take that prisoner, who we learn to be the main character, and shove... well, not the main character, the Russian commander, and they shove him into a... let me recall this right. They shove him into a torture chamber, and then they start fucking torturing him. And, he gets tortured a fucking shit ton, and eventually we go back to this German who has a scar on his face, and he looks rather fucked. And what happens is he goes, "Well, I'm tired of all these, people we get. They're fucking fearful. They don't even want to do this. They don't have the will to live. They just want to give up. Why do we keep doing whatever this program is we're doing. And what ends up happening is that he's looking across these files of people so he can train his soldiers on, and then he sees the Russian tank commander, and he goes, "Oh, this prisoner seems good. I think this prisoner has a will to live."
Right.
When
not
that's
It's
his
because he
evidence behind
recognized
that, before you start going, well, what's the proof? Is that early on, as I mentioned, they get shot, like taken out during the town scene once, and then the tank starts moving again. That is how he puts together that they genuinely do want to live. Because their tank, instead of surrendering at that point where they were very clearly fucked, they just keep moving and keep trying to go forward.
I think it was because like he recognized the commander because he was up on his face when he shot him, more or less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said
he gave him a good
he
battle.
said, "I'm the guy who shot you."
Yeah, so he definitely remembers him, and he chose
Yeah,
him
he
because
definitely.
he knows
He does.
that he's a good commander, and it would be good target practice. He just didn't predict it. Admittedly, it was a fucking dumb idea.
Oh
You
no,
shouldn't-
this part is that part is purely fictional.
Yeah, I mean,
that never happened.
I would not give an enemy commander who I know is probably rival to me, and I'm pretty great. I would not give him a top of the line Russian tank without cleaning it thoroughly first. And I wouldn't give him the tank without even
They did
disabling
clean it thoroughly. They took all.
Yeah,
the
I
ammo
would have
out.
disabled the gun.
Yeah,
They
but
didn't- they
didn't
didn't-
take.
Like, if you wanted to do training exercises, wouldn't
they
you
left-
just like disable?
Once you
They
take
left
the
the-
gun out, yes, but here's the thing: is that that's labor intensive. Most of the people there are just guards. They're not trained to deal with
Yeah,
tanks.
okay.
The tank
Like-
proving grounds is on the other side of town. They don't have time. They're busy training.
Yeah,
They're
the issue though,
literally fighting a losing war. Okay.
the issue is that they left dead bodies in the tank to either send a message or because they couldn't be bothered.
They couldn't be
And-
bothered.
I
okay,
agree with them leaving the dead bodies in the tank because it's like, you know what, it's like more demoralizing, and
Yeah, that's
it's
all well
also
and good. But like,
Well,
They don't
didn't
have
leave-
to
I
do
don't
it.
think they left it in because it was demoralizing. I think, as I told the PlayStation Portable,
They just
which
didn't-
is
they
his new
couldn't
name to
bother.
me, it is that they used a Burj Panther or a Burj Tiger, which is essentially a big tank with the fucking crane on it, to
Yeah.
carry this tank out. And I don't even know where the fuck we are in the movie right now. I'm like trying to assemble that together. So they use that to carry the tank out, and what ends up happening is that in the process of using a Burj Tiger or Burj Panther is that it's just a tank with a crane on it. So at best, they
They don't
craned
even-
this vehicle out, and then it was basically just like, oh, the vehicle's been
Yeah.
trained out, and we
It does
sent
seem
someone in
that
to
they've-
hastily take all the ammo out.
Yeah.
That should be good.
But they didn't
Because-
go in to take the ammo out because, like, so being a seasoned tank commander yourself, you know where ammo is stored in a tank. They didn't bother.
Yeah,
to
no,
check.
they. What happened is, and before you say,
They
well,
could've
they didn't
left
take
dead
the ammo out, they sent some guy in, like again, probably a guard or something from one.
Yeah, some idiot, some
the
guy that
Burj
doesn't know shit.
Panther delivering it, and the guy didn't obviously like look it over thoroughly because they're in a losing fucking war, and his reaction to scavenging it was, I'm going to leave these dead bodies in here because I don't have the time to go take these and throw them in a pile or burn them.
Initially, what it is that what it boils down to is that their negligence led to their downfall.
Well, it's not even their negligence. It should be. They should have been their negligence. They're fighting a losing war.
Even still, it takes all of 5 minutes to hop in there. This place fucking stinks. Oh, there's some ammo.
But they have so much better things they could be doing.
In a fucking concentration camp? What else do you got to do? Are the Jews dead yet? No. Fuck 'em.
Take a piss on the Jews. Insult them. You could be doing so much in a concentration camp. Why don't you join them?
Anyway, so sorry, we missed so the German commander Klaus Jaeger.
Yeah, he's looking over portfolios and he sees the commander
He
from the
goes
start.
to meet with the Russian dude, and he brings the
And he goes to
obviously
meet him in the torture chambers, and he
brings
essentially
the female
tells
translator
him,
with him.
yeah, he brings the translator lady from the fucking train.
So obviously, Vishnu wasn't gonna sign on to help him with this shit if it wasn't for that girl being there, because he is a softie, and he's like
a simp. He's a
I want
goddamn
some-
simp.
I want
What
some.
ends up happening is that the German goes to him and he's like, okay, I want you to be my tank commander and not in an actual tank. You will be put into a ring. Not really a ring, but I'm going to put you against my tanks and
Good.
you will try to survive them.
That's
And
it's students essentially. It's students. He's getting put
Yeah,
against
it
students.
is. It
A
was the
seasoned
Hitler. It
commander.
was the. I don't know if it was the Hitler Jugend or what. I think it was the Ghost Division. Actually, I'm not too
Either
sure.
way. People
What
fresh.
ends up
out of
happening is
Hitler.
it's besides the point. What ends up happening is that he says you're gonna fight my boys. You're gonna fight them.
And the smart thing that he
And-
does is he puts like mines around the field so
That
that
doesn't
they
happen yet.
can't.
Oh,
Oh,
no, sorry.
okay.
That's
So-
later on in the movie. What ends up happening is that the Russian commander responds to him going, "You're gonna train my tank cruisers." No, fuck you. And the translator.
He doesn't say anything.
What I feel a very important part in this scene is that every time this Russian tank guy essentially says "fuck you" or "no," the Russian the lady translating back to the German just leaves it out and like makes it all
Well,
nice
obviously-
sounding too.
She does that because she doesn't want to fucking die.
Well, I don't know if she would die because
I mean,
of that because
you
she's
go
just
to like one of the
translating
main people
for
in the camp. You go to one of the main people in the camp, and you have the audacity to say, "Yeah, that guy said fuck you." He'd kill you both. In fact, he'd kill
No,
the translator.
no.
He needs the tank guy. He doesn't need the translator. He can get another translator.
Yes, that's so as I was gonna say, because that reminds me. What ends up happening is that he goes like, okay, well, I'm still gonna need you. He's like, I don't know how he like not resolves it, but rather I don't know how he propositions it to him. But like, he gets denied a couple more times, and he's like, okay, well, how about this? And he takes a pistol out and like points it at the translator's head. And the translator is very clearly a Russian woman. And he starts counting down. He says, "At the end of this count, I am going to blow her fucking head off unless you join my tank crew."
And the best part about this is that she's actually translating his countdown.
She's translating his countdown while she like cries and just backs into a
Well,
corner.
she's about to die.
She
yeah.
only gets to about 3, and then she can't do it anymore.
She can't do it after a certain part.
Yeah, she's too busy
time.
being a big bitch, crying like a little bitch. Oh, you're gonna get shot, pussy. You're gonna die.
You're so mean.
So
I don't
rude.
care.
You're a
okay.
girl.
What ends up happening though is that
I ain't no simp.
yeah,
Kill
sure,
that
it
bitch.
happens. What ends up happening though is that if it as soon as they're at the last one, he's about to shoot. The Russian just stops him. He says, "Okay, I'll do it. Fine. Just don't fucking shoot this woman." Basically, and I forget what goes on from there. But essentially, he gives him. He says, "Okay, you're my new tank commander now," and he gives him some details of what he'll be doing tomorrow to help train his tank crew, obviously. So the next day, he sends him out to. Recalling again.
He sends him out
He
to
sends him.
to pick out his team first of all.
Yeah, from like prisoners, they call Russian prisoners over.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay, so they take the whole fucking concentration camp out and they send him down a line, and he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna let you select your tank
Oh,
crew."
not only that, they also have someone who's directly reports to the Nazis that are commanding them. Did you notice that he was Jewish?
Wait a second.
If
Which
you go to that scene,
Why are you
Like the
Jewish?
guy-
It's
the
a
guy-
constant topic that happens in this podcast.
yeah, it does come up quite a lot.
They're
just
are
everywhere. They
literally
have a
in
hand in
Nazi
everything.
concentration camp. I think it's just bound
Yeah.
to.
I think-
Okay, but last time there was long talons in 9/11, and I'm just not too
Look,
sure.
they,
That was-
at this point, they didn't evolve their wings yet, so that's why he couldn't escape the camp.
Is that why Harvey Weinstein couldn't escape the
No, he's too fat to
girls.
fly.
too fat to fly?
sort of like
Yeah.
chickens.
Next time we need to
Sort
pick a
of
movie
like
that has nothing to
chickens.
do with World War II.
Say
Yeah.
more of it. I'd like more of it. You know?
Yeah, no. But there's always the Jewish problem.
The Jewish problem. You need to reduce them.
Well, they try.
All
they
right,
try.
okay, hello. Let's try not to get super bad.
Anyway, so the Jewish
I
guy
just said
has
reduce them. What? I'm not doing anything.
I swear
Jewish
to
guy
fucking God,
reports
I'm just
directly
not gonna want to
to
deal with it.
the Nazi commanders in the camp, saying that this is all the prisoners, and then he calls them out.
Yeah, okay, so he lines up all the prisoners and he says, "This, you're gonna choose your tank crew out of these guys," and he's left with, I believe, well, not left with. He picks out 4 to 3 people of this group, which one happens to be his old tank driver who lived.
He only picks out 3. He picks out the tall
Yeah,
boy.
he picks out 3, and he picks out one, which is his old tank driver, which lived, and the other one is his trying to remember. Goddamn. No, it's not his anything. It's just a guy.
Yeah, the only survivor from the initial tank battle in the beginning was the driver, and then the tall boy with the fucked up neck, and then he picks the psycho.
Oh
It's all
yeah.
these people. Like the other 2 he picks are completely random to us. We have no clue who the fuck they are.
It's just
And then
after
after picking them, they're essentially put into a specialized group now to the Germans, and not in a specialized group, but like more so the Germans are like, okay, now you guys aren't going to be normal concentration camp people anymore, and they're escorted to the tank. And the tank, as described earlier, is this piece of shit Butte Panzer T-34 85. At the start, they were driving a 76 millimeter T-34. The 85 is seen during the end of the war and can penetrate most German armor for some reason. Well, not for some reason. There's a good reason why it can. It's more so for some reason they just have a T-34 85 for these people.
For some
And
reason.
okay, but here's
here's
one of my issues. Here's one of my issues with that scene. The T-34 doesn't seem to be like heavily damaged at all, but everyone inside
be heavily damaged. That's not how Butte Panzers work.
Yeah.
No, my point is everyone inside is dead, and like we just don't know how it was taken down and why it's in such pristine condition with
Presumably
everyone
they were
inside
attacked
dead.
and died.
Well, what happened was, more than likely, they probably got shot by HE, which is high explosive, which I'm not sure how that could penetrate a T-34 85, considering how the armor is slanted on that, like a Chinese person's eyes. Like maybe just
Well, they have to do repairs.
Like they had to do repairs, but it looked pretty okay. Like it's just weird.
So maybe
I wasn't a big fan of
like
that.
later in the movie. Maybe like later in the movie, they dropped a grenade down the hatch. Maybe.
No,
we don't
what they
know.
probably did is they probably
really...
somehow penetrated the T-34 with HE or something.
You know what?
They probably
they
killed the fucking crew.
They gassed them. They shoved a bit of gas down the tailpipe.
It could have been at the end
enjoy my boy.
They all died from smoke inhalation. Yeah.
I just wish it wore it. I just wish that tank had a bit more battle scarring. I
mean, yeah, they do take like 3 or 4 days to repair it, and you're like,
generally speaking, right? Yeah, generally fucking speaking, with tanks, if your tank is like, how do I say, being shot at, you're not going to have it be like in having thousands of holes in it. If you already have more than 2 holes in it, you're probably dead on the inside.
Yeah, but I didn't see any holes there.
Well,
and
yeah,
they didn't
holes.
I'm an experienced hole finder, and there wasn't enough.
Yeah, too few holes for me. Like even with my women, I need them to have at least like 16, or I'm not interested.
Women, he says.
Hang on.
He's like, I searched my
like
dog
aliens.
for nipples and I found nothing. I searched that tank for holes and I also found nothing. Case
nothing.
closed.
I searched my women for holes and I found too few.
Brick, on the day of your arranged marriage, I'm gonna find wherever the fuck it is, and I'm gonna like slip that dog nipple story in somewhere.
You think I'm gonna invite you people?
No, I'm gonna find it. I know I'm not invited. I'm gonna find it.
Crash
I don't
Prince
even want to
wedding. Crash
participate.
Prince
That's the
wedding.
joke's on you.
The one little pasty white guy at the Indian wedding.
No, I
Let
think
me
there's
tell
gonna
you
be
about the time Brick discovered male dogs have nipples.
He didn't.
No, they
discover.
don't.
He still denies it to this day.
I still deny it. Look, okay. First of all, dog nipples are
I don't need a fucking defense on
No,
this.
these
Shut
are
up.
these. It's a conspiracy theory by Big Nipple.
By
you
Big
know,
Nipple, professional street nipple.
Yeah, I mean they actually they put it on there just to
These are the
spy
same
on
guys
you.
who make rubber nipples.
They put the nipple on there just to spy on you. It's actually a camera.
Yeah,
Yes,
if you take
it's
some tweezers
exactly.
to it, pops right off.
And then you can see that if you pull it out, you can see like the wires in your dogs.
Like if it was a real nipple and you sucked on it, stuff would come out. I'm just saying, Brick sucked these nipples and nothing came out.
So irrelevant to the nipple story.
Anyway.
They're given a
What
T-34
were we
to
talking
repair,
about?
and they spend the next few days repairing it. And this they're given like a workshop section in the camp essentially to go repair it in. And they're told they will have no ammo, nothing else than just the tank. And when they go into the tank, the first thing they see when they're like scouring around in it, while it's still outside in front of all the Nazis, is like dead people. So they get up to move the dead people a little bit, and then they see, oh god, there's like 3 to 5 shells here that the Germans happen to miss because this guy just died holding them. So their immediate reaction / thought to this is, what if we take the dead bodies and throw them outside, but not throw them outside, but like bury them. But we don't bury them just like that. We take the ammo out of the tank, so we know the Germans are going to search us at the end of the day. And then we take the dead bodies and the ammo out in like rags, and we bury it under rocks. So they ask for permission to bury their dead in the tank,
Yeah.
and the German commander permits it, which is how they end up taking the ammo and the dead bodies outside.
Yeah, I mean these Germans are utterly incompetent.
It's not just incompetent; they're in a haste, and the haste is costing them a
Haste is
lot.
always good. You know how long it takes to check a dead body to see if they weigh as much
Why
as
am
they
I going
should?
to check a dead body?
For ammo!
What ammo is it going to have on it? Ammo for a gun? It probably doesn't even have a gun.
For tanky! They stuff the ammo down the sleeves and shit of these bodies.
Stuff the ammo in their fucking underwear. Say, hey, baby, look at me.
Oh wow! Look,
Damn, look
this
how
body
hungry
seems
these
to
Russian
weigh
men are.
significantly more than a human, like a human holding a tank
Well,
round.
it wasn't
Oh,
on
well.
the body itself. It was underneath it. I mean, I agree. They probably could have kicked it, but still at the same time. What ends up happening is that
there was a lot of oversights that should have
I
been
don't
taken
think it's an
care of.
oversight. Well, not an oversight in the movie.
Right, look, when you come to my concentration camp, shit's done right.
I want to see your concentration camp, please.
I don't. I want to live, please.
Well, that's okay, you're white. It's alright, it's alright.
Well, then I definitely don't want to see it. I don't think I'd.
The Indians are like the British people of the Middle East.
The British people of the Middle East.
Yeah, you speak enough English.
So, anyways, they're done taking the tank and they take it into the workshop and they start working on it. And the movie kind of lulls here for a little bit because you don't ever see any part where they go to sleep at. You just see them mostly working on the tank.
We're gonna have a montage.
I don't think it's a complete montage, but it's basically like them working on the tank, and the Germans they're Germany watching, and they're watching in German, and what ends up happening is that they see the translator who comes in to talk to them a few times, and she says, "Hey, I kind of want to leave. I don't want to be here. This place kind of sucks, guys." Wow. And the Russian commander goes, "I don't think I want to take you out of here. You're just gonna die because we're probably
gets threatened with death once, and suddenly she wants to leave."
Yeah, she's just a pussy. Like, if
just because you have one between your legs doesn't mean you need to act like one, alright?
So, anywho,
I like how Long is the only one talking about the movie, whether
because you people are all fucking drunk. You have the attention span of like a 2-year-old.
I'm not drunk. I just thought we agreed that we were going to talk kind of broad strokes about why it's good instead of like a play-by-play, you know?
I'm a because you never talk during anything unless it's your part. You're mostly silent.
That's the psychiatrist in me. He has to listen.
So I
Yeah, he has to
so I
listen.
don't talk over people. Yes, I'm the asshole. It's
How did I say you were?
Or
an asshole?
am I the asshole?
I'm just saying, like, y'all talk over each other and put in a bunch of other stuff, and I like wait until I want to say something relevant. And what am I supposed to like put
Well,
in
yeah,
there?
you
like,
have to.
yeah, like,
have
you need to be
talk
more
over other
assertive.
people to assert
You need
your
to be more assertive,
dominance.
CC.
okay,
Your
just let's
alphaness.
Whip
Alright,
out the
let's,
schlong.
let's start right now. Let's stop talking about each individual scene since the movie's very broadly dry, and just talk about why the movie's just like good broadly.
No, I was
How's
skipping
it
over
dry?
Right now.
It's
Well,
You know,
No, I wasn't really dry.
Oh, sorry,
If you were more
I
is-
enjoy
assertive,
that.
CC,
Sorry,
you would have
the-
got that movie.
Okay, fine. Not dry is not a precise word for it. I'd say the moment to moment stuff isn't like whoa, like high octane.
I mean,
I'm
yeah,
not
like,
going
like-
completely moment to moment. This part, literally the part I'm talking about right now, I'm skipping over a good chunk of it.
Okay,
We're
well,
skipping over the repair montage.
Right. I mean more so that, like, when I talk about, like, commentary for stuff, it's like, yes, I didn't comment that they found the shells, because what am I supposed to say? Oh, yes, I also agree they found the shells. Like, that's like, what the fuck am I supposed
No,
to put
I'm
there?
not
I
arguing
agree.
with you that yeah, I'm just saying you're typically silent.
No,
All right,
anyways.
okay, go on, move on. Let's
Yeah, what
move.
ends up happening is that they
Well, no,
go
no.
over the
Like, you
tank,
said, no,
and
man. Like,
then
don't.
they do the
You're still,
thing.
you're still doing the same scene. We kept saying we wouldn't do that. If you want to do that, that's fine. But like, it's not consistent,
Thanks,
man.
And then the thing
Right.
happens.
So the lady finds out about the hidden mines. The Russians don't know about the mines. She goes and tells the Russians about the mines, and they're like, "Oh, them dirty Germans! They try to mine
Ancient
me.
Mayan pimples in my Russia.
I fuck them good."
I mean, okay, so I think her like relationship with Ivushkin was sped up a lot, and it wasn't really well done. But then
I mean,
again, you know,
those concentration camp romances—they're pretty short.
yeah, like
it was
okay, to
definitely
be
sped up a lot, and there
to-
was a lot
to be
we could have
fair,
just
I think-
completely went over.
I think where love in times of war kind of functions a little differently than like in times of peace. Like you get to like go out on like a billion dates and then figure
Hey,
out if
babe,
no.
I'm about to die. You want to reproduce?
Yeah, exactly. I like if I were to give the movie any credit, I don't know if it was
Good old days.
on purpose or what, but I could definitely see that romances during World War II would be pretty short, and I think they'd skip over a lot of steps that we would do normally.
Yeah, because we weren't threatened to get bombed at any second.
Exactly. Yeah, I think
Like,
falling
hey, yo,
in love was
you
a
are
much.
you are a hot lady. You want to fuck, maybe make babies, start family? Yeah, okay. Oh fuck! Here comes the Germans.
Here comes the Germans.
Ah, you
I
want
don't
to do
think
some
we'll have it.
shit?
Fuck! The Germans are coming. Pull down your panties.
Please, I
And
only
then
have so much
take-
longer to make babies.
Take my seat and run.
And you take my seed. You will make baby Ivishkun.
So,
Well, yeah, that's the thing, man. That's the only thing I have is like a thing that I disliked about the movie, and it's not even a very
I
strong
didn't like
dislike.
that.
Like, it's just
putting a bunch of your enemy in a tank and not checking for
that-
ammo. That's more of my issue, really.
okay, so the part that not annoyed me, but the part where I was kind of like, huh, about the movie, but I was kind of like, oh, whatever.
If you like, you
the
can
completely
give.
fictitious part where the Germans, for some reason whatsoever, were like, we need to train our men. How are we going to train them? Well, let's see here. We have the enemy, and then we have the enemy's tank, which is hard to come by, and better than all of our tanks. What if we just put the enemy in their tank and then proceeded to train on them?
Right, well,
Like,
let's
okay,
say-
that never
It's
happened.
it's not 100%. Like, okay, it's still semi plausible. So
That's not plausible. The Germans would have never trained on directions and Butte Panzers.
Let's say, hypothetically, this training session panned out the way they wanted to. These 3 German tank group students would have fought the live Russian target, and then they'd be dead. And then the 3 students go on. And then that was the one-time training program because you destroyed the Russian tank and you destroyed the tank crew.
It's fictitious, and it's not particularly the most amazing thing, but it's also not the most logical thing. Well, I disagree.
Yeah, okay, like if you, it's not an like. See, if you can suspend your disbelief just a little bit for this, like it's not past the suspension of disbelief for me. Is it's not past the point where I'd say, this is completely stupid. You know, like Leia doing her, what's that thing?
What the force fucking grip through
The
space?
the thing where in the Last Jedi where she just like
She
ends
pulls
up
out her fucking hand and wakes up in space, and then somehow gets back to the ship. Yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah.
No, she does that
That's
like
what I've-
Superman
Yeah.
that hoe. You.
Like
what's
the
that-
Force
the
never
British
has been able to
acting-
push you specifically, so I don't even know what she's using to like push herself.
Well, no, I think she was gripping the spaceship
Yeah, she
and
was
pulling
pulling.
herself towards it.
Now it's still stupid.
Anyway,
but-
it's still completely stupid because she
I
wakes
remember
up in
in the Force Unleashed, Star Killer was able to pull a ship down into the atmosphere. He didn't fly. Fuck you, Leia.
Yeah, like okay, so I think like you have to kind of draw the line where you're able to suspend your disbelief. Like the other thing is this is a small film, right? This one camp and this one commander in the scope of the giant in the scope of the entire war is kind of like a much smaller thing, I think. So you can kind of justify it by saying, oh well, this one camp, this one commander could be a fucking idiot, and you're like, okay, yeah, maybe, maybe he did think that training against Russians in a Russian tank would give you a better chance of understanding their tactics, which it's an understandable conclusion to come to, if a little bit foolhardy.
Yeah, if they want to live, you're gonna understand their tactics.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like it's not the worst case
understand
of
the
suspension of disbelief, and
I can
like
understand the benefits you think you would get from this situation, but they just went around it wrong.
you can
If they'd done it
see
right,
the logical
it would be-
progression. You can see the logical progression. In fact, more than this training program, I don't like that they didn't check for ammo. That's like a little bit more annoying to me, because you want to make sure that your enemy is as neutered as possible.
Yeah.
That's just
The training-
it's the one that sits a little bit more wrong with
The
me.
training idea makes sense, but you would have taken more precautions to make sure it pans out the way you want.
Yeah, so yeah, like, but if you say, okay, I suspend my disbelief for this is not a deal breaker for me, I think you can definitely enjoy the rest of the film. I thought the rest of the film was done really well.
I mean, it wasn't a deal breaker for me. I mean, I understand that, you need some kind of plot.
Right,
Just-
Yeah, and
like nothing was a deal breaker for me. Like even the thing I'm mentioning about with like the romance, that's not even a deal breaker. It's just that
That's just because you don't like women.
No, man. I'm the only person.
It's
Y'all are fucking
because you're
virgins, and you say,
Asian.
"Oh, you don't like women." I just.
It's
y'all
just-
are
It's
virgins.
just because she
Yes.
wasn't Asian, since he admit it.
That's
It's not,
that's a
she's
different
not a black or
subject.
Asian woman.
That's a different subject. All right, it's nothing to do with this movie. Listen,
I think
listen.
you know what?
Listen.
No, forget the movie. We're all going to talk about CC sexual preferences right now.
We're not.
Look
I didn't
here,
hear
look
what
here.
just happened.
Fuck
What?
you. We're not doing that. Here's the thing. All right, this romance
Look
is the
here,
only
if,
thing I'm
if
critical
dog
of.
nipples.
If this romance is the only thing I'm critical of in this movie, just because it's just very shallow, and I know Louis not about it, but it's like, they're like gun to my head, like, hey, be critical of this movie. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, the action's good, the acting is good, like the writing's good, really good looking for 10 million, but the romance is just like, hey, we're both Russian and mildly attractive, wanna get married.
Mildly attracted to each other.
I mean, come on. Look, it's wartime. I'm sure that Cece would jump the bones of more dog-looking woman. I bet.
No.
In
no,
wartime.
some
I
dog
bet-
creatures walk up to CC on their hind legs.
Rick, here's the thing. You're an idiot. You assume I'd live, all right? You assume I'd be
Oh,
alive
yeah,
in this part
I'm
of the
sorry.
war, all right? Like,
Oh yeah, that's true.
I'm a very, very smart man. I'm not a competent soldier. So-
I'm a very smart man. I see a tank charging me, and I affix bayonet.
yeah, man.
Uh,
Like that's saying all my
I mean,
book smarts will go right out one ear and out the other with the fucking bullet going through my skull.
I mean, yeah, I'm a pretty good
Oh.
shot, but I'm also a retard, like, so I'm pretty much dead.
See, that's the thing.
Okay,
man.
but
It's
here's
like,
the thing.
Mhm.
Okay, but here's the thing. if dog nipples
shit?
are
No. Okay,
if
I'm just
dog
gonna cut you
nipples
off.
are relevant to
No,
this
stop
discussion, then
talking
I
about
think
Here's the
CP's
thing.
don't talk about dog nipples. Here's the thing: the circumstances of them falling in love are not what I take issue with, as much as just like they barely spend any like time together to like grow.
yeah,
that
they
kind
could
of
just
chemistry.
remove it.
Yeah, so I mean, like they
Yeah,
could
I mean,
remove it, or they could imply something
there
like
didn't need to be
like
there didn't need to be a romance thing. They could have just fucked.
yeah, or even
Oh yeah,
simpler,
absolutely. Just
They
have
could
a
have
Thanks
just
for getting me out of my. Thanks for getting me out of that camp. Here's my pussy. Go to town.
like, and they could have
Bye.
just implied that they would start a relationship once they were out of the camp if they like kind of saw that they were like, you know, into each other. But that's like, but instead the movie's like, no, they're in love. And I'm like, no, don't stop. It's not.
I mean, I imagine you have to make this movie appeal to Russian women as well.
Like I get that, but it's like not. Well, they could have done better. Like, you know, they could have had a few other like scenes to kind of maybe establish how they got to know each other or anything. Because at this point, they haven't actually had like outside of like one scene where they talk to each other, everything's been like translating. You know, like she's never actually said a thing of her own.
Well,
at that point,
there was this one scene where she's translating the German guy, and he's just like staring at her instead, and she's just looking at him. Yeah, so instead of like looking at his war games plan or whatever,
yeah, like sharing like a knowing look. That's like some like Twilight level bullshit romance. All right,
they're in a concentration camp, my man.
They could do it better. Is the point?
No, they can't, dude. You're like an American where you go out on dates and shit.
No, it's not even like a date. It's just like time to like grow that. It's like, is he just gonna fall in love with any Russian woman in there? Like,
yes, exactly.
You know, hey, baby, meet me in the stars.
He would probably fall in love with a German woman if she wanted his cock. Like it's wartime, man. It's
I think this romance was an example of the makers of T-34 knew their audience would be mostly male, so they just wanted like a lot of action, and you know what? Sex, nice. That's it. There didn't need to be much romance. They just needed to make it seem like, oh, they like each other, so that's why they fucked.
I mean, like, I could definitely see, like, you know, being sexually attracted to each other and then assigning a value that's more than that because it's wartime and because you're on such pressure and stuff like that. I could definitely see that. That's like, it's one of my lesser problems with the film. And generally speaking, I don't have much problems with the film. I think it's
that's what
pretty
I mean. I also don't have anything, so this is very minor in the grand scheme of things. But it's like
if
you know,
if you have to pick out something,
if I have to pick out something, the thing the movie is not about isn't particularly strong. You know, so like okay,
yeah.
You know?
The only things you can pick out is the romance is kind of unnecessary, and the thinking of the German commander is a bit dumb. Aside from that, great movie.
You know, like it's like if I was to look at like
kind of a,
you know, if I was to be critical,
she's kind of a
like,
plain woman too.
I mean, yeah, but that's also like they wouldn't
explaining the scene by scene, but to like write that home, essentially the Germans finally they put them in the camp, and then the Russians escape. Like not in the camp, in the tank, and then the Russians outwit the Germans and escape, and then the whole rest of the movie is find those fucking Russians.
Yeah,
I mean, they escape via like a massive smoke screen. So that's it. That scene also annoyed me a little bit too. Like they did this massive smoke screen and then took out a tank, and then they felt the need to go around and shoot the tower. Admittedly, I would also want to shoot the boy that put me in the camp, but they could have just like breezed on by.
No, I think I feel like that scene I kind of liked because they wouldn't expect the Russian tank to turn around and come inside instead of clipping, making their way out of the camp, you know?
No, I mean, when the first tank blew up, they should have immediately evacuated.
Yeah, but see, this is what they would expect, right? They would expect it, and then they would say, oh, they're just going to make their way to, say, if they don't know about the mines, they'd probably go towards one side or the other, or something like that. Them doubling back took them by surprise, so I wasn't really. It's not really a revenge thing for me, but more like advanced,
those guys
better
in the
tactics.
Tower are gonna radio reinforcements, blow them the fuck up. I
mean, like let's assume they radioed already. It doesn't matter. the point being, they wouldn't expect it, and it also strikes a blow for Russia. Like, and that's one of the things that kind of plays into the film, which is, you know, we always fight the enemy until we're dead or something like that. They say something to that effect, I believe, at some point. And I think it's not against their, you know,
well,
against
initially before this like training escape thing, they were like, we're just gonna fight them until we die, because that's our only option. And then once they actually break out, it's like, oh, we may actually live. We'll fight them and live. And then they go to the town, and then they're like, oh, we'll fight them and die. Never mind.
And yeah, so they basically get cornered in this town, and that leads to like some of the best scenes, like when they end up finding a another tank, and both of their guns are turned away, and you're just this scene is so great because the both of them are just turning the big guns around, and that just that increases the tension. Like, that's the most tension filled scene in the entire film.
It's really just like, who masturbated more.
I want to point out, right?
I enjoyed that scene so much.
I really want to point out,
I would have
for
won.
anyone interested in this movie, finding it in like a good dub is a pain in the ass and a half.
Just get the
Russian.
Russian
go
with
on
sub.
Amazon and just watch the Russian version.
Anybody
if you're trying to watch this illegally,
it's just like anime, dude.
You're only gonna find English, and the English dub is so fucking poor.
Yeah, but like, dubs are always worse than subs. So, like, anybody who has watched anime with
most of the time. I mean, like, Dragon Ball Z dub.
It's a good rule of thumb, broadly.
Blah, blah.
Yeah. Like, I can name one or two like exceptions to the rule and be like, oh, but this one, but it's like broadly, like 95% of them are gonna be shit compared to the original audio, and it's like fair. Just roll with it.
I think generally speaking, you should watch films, anime, whatever media in the language that it was supposed to be in. Like,
I'm fair enough. I'm happy enough with that. I can read subtitles really fast.
I think it's mostly because even if you don't necessarily understand the dialogue, you can still feel the tone and the way it was delivered, and like, I think that's kind of important.
So like, reading is one thing, but like when you can hear the emotion in the character's original
exactly in the voice,
it's different. Whereas if you go over to dub, a lot of it is like.
Yeah, I also feel that like a lot of emotion is removed from dubs.
I hate to bail early, but I gotta do some stuff. If you people are still here when I'm back, I guess I'll join back.
Yeah, no
all
worries,
right,
man.
Sure, no problem.
I'll return.
All right, cool.
Anyway, so the end of the film after the point where they escape is basically entirely action, and
well, I hope you boys like naked Russians because you get to see it.
I enjoyed it a lot, especially like the tank tactics.
I bet you enjoyed those naked Russians.
Of course.
No, it's a good moment. Like, he's trying to like get all like close with like this one lady, and this other dude like right before they're about to kiss, like comes up, he's like, "Yo, bros, let's go swimming." And he's like,
yeah, let's go skinny dipping.
He like ditches her so they can all go swimming.
Yeah, it's a scene of like 4 naked Russians just running to the lake.
Yeah, so basically they end up going skinny dipping or something.
Yep,
it's just a bath, really. Like, but I mean. Right, so they escape the Russian camp and they go pick up the girl beside the old ladies, and the German commander dude is like chasing after them, like trying to find them in this fucking plane.
Oh
and
the
guy flying the plane is just like, yo, I can't go any fucking lower or we'll die.
Go lower, go lower. Like, we're also low on fuel, and he's just like, no, we're not. You fly.
Yeah, I just hit a tree. If we go any lower, we're gonna die. Go lower. I need to see. Get some fucking binoculars or something, my dude.
And then he ends up like getting in a tank
Yeah, so they see the tracks in the mud where the tank went. They end up going like forward to this like castle town. Are we skipping the town that they stopped off in for like clothes and food and shit?
I mean, it's not really
It's not
that
really
important.
I mean, it's sort of like a lighthearted scene.
I feel like that scene was entirely propaganda, honestly.
No, this
Because
movie
it's
was
like,
funded by the Russian government. It absolutely is.
yeah, like especially like okay, I'm gonna say, I think most of it's not that bad in terms of propaganda, but that film, that scene is super heavy on it.
Yeah,
because
like it's like no,
like
the Russians didn't raid innocent like German towns. They were friendly. They wanted to help.
Yeah, they gave us their food on like they gave us their shit
they
on
definitely board. There is terror in like the citizens. Like they're in this town and a Russian tank comes rolling through. Russians pop out. The policeman that's standing there in the town's like immediately like, "Yep, fuck this. Take my gun. Take my shit. I'm out."
Like half of them are scared,
I don't
but the
think
other
they were
half are
that
kind of
scared.
Half of them are scared.
No,
like,
because
complacent, you know, like there's
no. Look at this. There was the one guy who picked up like some bread or something, and then she gave him more shit.
That's what I mean. What I'm saying is, some of them are scared. Some of them are actually like, "Yo, Russian's cool," like, and then this like do that, you know.
I mean, you never really know how people are going to react. One time, I was out at a restaurant.
Oh, and then you raided a German town. Cool.
No. Right. It was like this cabaret show. So I was sitting there drinking, just like at this table, and the dinner was finished, and a fight broke out between 2 or 3 tables beside me. This massive 20-person brawl.
Oh dear!
Everyone's freaking out and shit. The table I was at gets thrown away. Before this happened, I grabbed my drink, and the table I was at just gets thrown away. I'm sitting there just drinking my beer. While this entire fight's going on around me, security comes in, bouncers from the nightclubs stroll in to help them. I'm just going, yeah, I'm here for a good time. My girlfriend had backed off against the wall, and I'm sat in the middle of this now empty room. All the tables have been moved around me. These people were fighting, and I sat in this one lonely chair just drinking. So you never know how people are going to react. If they're like me and retarded, they'll just sit there and go like, "This is a weird show."
Well, you know, this is why I did boxing and I weightlift. Because just in case this happens, you know, you can go join the fun and actually be successful.
I don't know what happened. I was sitting there drinking away. Everything's fine, and then there's some shouting, and then you just literally all of 2 seconds it took me to turn around. And there's a full-on brawl. I had no idea what set them
20 men, though. That's crazy.
No. It wasn't just men. There was it was a mixed parties of men and women.
No. I meant men as in people, 20 people.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
We're in 2021, man. Women
enough.
can fight. Women can brawl. It's not just the men anymore.
These women they started on each other, and then the men obviously stepped in for whatever reason.
Oh yeah! Oh, the women started it, and then the white knights entered.
It is the women that start.
It's always the women. This is why I'm a misogynist.
Yep. I enjoyed myself. I'm not gonna lie. It was pretty fun for me.
They didn't drag you in, in those old.
No, I was sat there in this. Imagine nothing around me for 5 meters apart from fighting people, and one chair in the middle with some little fucking cunt with a beer. Yeah,
and they didn't drag you into it like in Asterix and Obelix.
No. If you fight, people generally have respect. It's oh, he's not part of that group. Fine. I could have joined in.
I feel like that's not true. If they, I guess it's more oh, this guy isn't fighting, therefore we won't fight him.
No. There's honor in drunken brawls.
Okay.
If they had accidentally hit me, then I would have lifted the chair. But they didn't. So the thing is, even if I wanted to join in, I wouldn't know who's on my team, who am I not supposed to hit.
I mean, no one's on your team. You don't know any of them.
Yeah, you want to pick you want to pick the winning side.
Yeah, you can kind of get a feel for who's on the better side of this argument,
Yeah, but obviously, seeing as women started the argument, obviously it was based on nothing. So
it's women's problems.
Women are vicious, man. Like men.
Yeah,
fighting is
like
pretty
to
basic.
talk about like fights and stuff. Like this one time, outside my school, some kid got stabbed.
Dude, that's
I
not a
swear
fight.
to-
That's just getting stabbed.
That's not a fight. Someone just got murdered.
He didn't get murdered. He was just in the hospital for a while.
Oh,
But yeah.
okay. That's doesn't sound like a glorious honorable fight. That just sounds like a knife attack.
I mean,
It,
in my
it
school,
was
someone got
actually
fight
two
and
groups
that was
of no, it was actually two groups of kids that actually started off a fight. But then one of them pulled a knife out and stabbed this kid, and then immediately they all ran away because it was like a fucking crime, and the police were gonna come around.
Like you have like
Okay,
And,
so
rival
and
street
I remember,
gangs?
hold on.
Do you live in
And
West
I
Side
remember-
Story? What the fuck?
And then I remember like all the teachers just telling all the kids to go back into their classes because they didn't want any of us to see this kid just bleeding out on the street.
West Delhi story.
And here's the
Like-
thing. Here's the thing.
I'm
This was
just
all like
picturing-
14, 15-year-olds. Like these weren't like older kids, like 17, 18 or anything. These were like 14, 15-year-olds. And you're like, holy shit, dude. Like,
Yeah,
where
this
are your
11-year-old kid tried to stab me once, and I hit him with a tennis racket. He didn't try to stab me again.
Dude, I would okay, unironically, if a kid tried to stab me, I'd beat the shit out of him. Like I would beat him until his parents
Well, no,
couldn't
so
recognize him. I don't give a
the
shit.
issue was this kid was like digging around a sewer grater, so I thought he had dropped something in. And I was
Yeah.
like, "Here, mate, do you need a hand?" And then he stands up and pulls out this little knife, and I'm like, "Oh, you want to play like that, do you?" No, you're not getting any help. I'm going to hit you in the temple with this tennis racket.
Like I hate kids, man. I swear to God, the kids are just parenting is just shite these days.
Yeah.
Like okay, so
Just to
this-
address chat, hit your kids, hit them,
yeah, hit them really
Like,
hard.
hit them, so I don't have to. Like if you
Like,
don't
okay,
hit your kids, I will.
Here's the thing, right? One time
It's
I was out
1940s
with the
up in this bitch.
okay. Listen, one time I was out with the dog near the canal, and this kid on a cycle, right? He wouldn't have been like he would be like what 13, maybe 12 or something on a cycle, and I was just walking with the dog, and this kid just like rides by with his cycle, and he throws milk on me, right? And okay, so here. So what I do is I push him off the bike and I throw his bike into the canal. Fuck you.
You just got fucking milked, bro.
Man, like,
Yeah, I mean, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if you're 12 or 13. You do that shit to a stranger. He's lucky he got out without a beating. I just threw his.
mean, Did you know that Cece was a weapons dealer in school?
I was. That's the thing. Y'all live in like terrible places. I've never been in a fight. I just
Says the weapons dealer.
well,
You've
no,
never
no,
been
here's the
in
thing.
a fight.
I've gotten the shit kicked out of me several times, but like I've not been in a fight. And fight implies that I like did things to them as well.
Have a chance.
Yeah, no. I've never like actually like done that, you know.
This
So,
is why you need to join my MMA group on
no,
Minds and
Here's
start
the thing.
learning.
No, I take boxing, all right? So, like, I do kickboxing. I know what to do. What I mean is, I've never done that to someone, so I have no frame of reference of if I'm actually good in a fight or not. And I
Wait,
say
so
that,
have you
like,
joined my MMA group on Minds?
Not-
Because
no,
that shit's lit.
Not your MMA group, all right? Your group spends all day looking for fucking dog nipples and getting into fights with the fucking 13-year-old street kids with knives. It's just... It's stupid.
Dog nipples and
I want to like.
Hey,
talk
man,
over
I
CC
have-
and Brick here, and
I'm
say
just
that-
gonna say
No,
this.
fuck
I
you.
have an amateur record, okay, in boxing.
What'd
I
you say-
have a
what'd you say?
record of-
Hang on, what'd you say, Lung? I did not catch a word of that.
I gotta interject here because I gotta like leave. Literally, I'm probably you guys are probably gonna be done by the time I'm back, but I'm gonna leave to my final thoughts on the movie, which is pretty good for Russian film. I didn't think it'd be. I didn't come in expecting anything. I came away pretty happy with the product I watched. Definitely would recommend a watch if you have fuck all to do, but I don't think it's the movie of the year, but definitely a good see.
It's a great film. It's a nice film. It's fun as hell.
Anyways,
It's
I gotta
fun as
go.
hell.
I prefer we don't say what the next movie of the week will be, and we discuss it in the secret.
Yeah,
chat.
we'll discuss it
I
later.
think maybe
Yeah.
we'll do a poll. I don't know.
Yeah,
so
we
see
might
you
do
guys.
we'll do a
Have
poll
a
on
good one.
Minds or something.
Yeah, do that.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, so by the way, I do have an amateur record in boxing. Kind
Yeah, no,
of.
I don't
guess.
got any of that, man. I just like I do kickboxing as like we'll say exercise and not as like a self-defense thing. So when I say I do boxing, I've not done like sparring with someone or matches with someone.
You don't spar?
Well, because yeah, no, I don't. I want to spar. I think that'd be great. I just haven't, and so that's what I mean when I'm like trying to be realistic. I'd love
you
to
guys-
be like CC, the best fighter in the fucking universe, but I haven't done it yet. So there's a chance, a decent chance, that I'd get like punched once and then just like collapse. And so I'm like, I gotta get ripped first.
I mean,
for
no,
that.
you'd be surprised. Like a punch isn't that bad.
Well, no, see, the thing,
Well-
I've been punched before when I've gotten the shit kicked out of me. I've not done it in the context of, like, a fight, and
Yeah.
that's what I mean,
It
is,
ain't
like,
that bad.
because, like, I
Did you
remember being punched. It was like that thing in, like, cartoons where it's got, like, the flash and, like, the, like stars in your vision kind of shit. Like, that. Like, they punched me right in my fucking eye, and I wanted to punch them, but he had several friends who decided, okay, you're like a foot taller than this guy, so we're not gonna let that happen, and so they just kept pushing me away, and like, so I'd like to think I'd have beaten the shit out of him, but I just left. So,
Yeah. I mean, did you ever play Manhunt when you were little?
accidentally, yes.
You might have had a different name for it. Like there's a team of runners and there's a team of beaters, and like the runners think of
I
a
thought
word.
you
and
meant the
then divide
PS2
letters up.
game.
Oh, sorry, no, sorry. It's like a real life game. So the
Okay.
runners think of a word and divide the letters up amongst themselves, and then the beaters go out, find a runner, beat the shit out of them to get the letter back, and then let them limp off to like hide again.
What's this
No.
game?
Manhunt.
I've never played it.
Yeah, so
No. The only thing I've ever had as far as like running around in a setting like that as a kid was like my neighbor had like a bunch of airsoft guns. They gave us like those, and then
all right.
I shot a guy and he didn't like that very much, so he ripped off my face mask and unloaded a full clip into my face, and
Oof, that's horrible.
it didn't
Our
feel very
games
good.
I would have
might be,
heard-
like a little bit.
It
Our
did-
games might be a little bit more rough. Like
Yeah.
that does sound like a psycho, but
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
remember
I
playing
didn't want to
Manhunt
play airsoft after that because they're like, "No, come back." It's just like a one thing. I'm like, "No, it's not a one thing. Mine's
There are-
there are
a lot of
racers."
Okay, I have to do a little brag. I want to do a little bragging here.
All right, here we
I
go.
actually, like I said, I have a like a college boxing record, which is the 2 wins and 1 loss. I got both my wins by TKO and I lost by decision.
I hate decision. You can never really. I always feel like cheated out by decision.
Oh well,
Oh.
that was fun, and both, like, the decision fight was like the worst one for me because I didn't have good cardio, so I gassed out really fast.
Nah.
So, so then I just basically took a pummeling for this guy with better cardio, and then I just lost.
That's an issue. Like,
But the
you get covered really
TKO ones, like both of them were like before the second round, so I just beat the shit out of them. So, so yeah, that
well, then maybe
like,
that was just you. Like you're like, I'm gonna try to knock this guy out in the first round, and you failed.
I don't remember because it was a really long time ago. But so yeah, I'm gonna.
The last game of Manhunt I played, I was in a chokehold,
Wait,
unable to
Is that
breathe,
legal?
coughing up. Oh, I mean, that's a children's game, so you know.
yeah.
I was in a chokehold, and then some other boy had, like toy lightsabers.
Yeah.
Well, you know the handle of them where all the batteries and stuff are kept.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he extended the lightsaber, and he was cracking me over the head with the handle part of it while I was in chokehold. And after about 5 or 6 swings, I was like, you know what? I'll tell you my letter.
Jesus.
We also had a game called British Bulldogs, where like you would line up, like one person would be in the middle, and like there would be like a team of runners trying to get from one side of a garden to the other side, and the person in the middle, the bulldog, had to grab this person, and if they brought them to the ground by any means necessary, they would join their team. And it got pretty bad as well. there was someone's garden we used to play in, and like the middle just turned into like a mud pit from the amount of times people got slammed into it. So yeah, you know, children's games over here, they're a bit extreme. There was another time we had like a wizard school.
I have
sorry,
a question
with
though.
someone.
I have a question for
Yeah.
CC.
Alright.
At your kickboxing gym, do they not allow you to spar with people or what?
So here's the thing. I should clarify for this. When I say like kickboxing, this is, I'm going to say kickboxing as a form of like cardio-based exercise and not as like a form of like martial arts. So when we do it, I want you to imagine it in the setting of like a classroom where everyone has their own bag and you go to town on the bag, and they're not teaching you, here's what you do when someone throws this at you. You know, at this point, the whole purpose of it is like get strength and get like and lose weight. You know, it's entirely fitness focused, not on like the actual like mechanics of a fight. So when I have that, I'll say I have good form as far as how the punches and the kicks work. But like if we're talking about actual like say footwork or like actually like bobbing and weaving, like my entire awareness of that is based entirely off of what I've seen in movies and like no personal experience. So that's
You
why
should join a proper kickboxing gym where they allow you to spar with people and shit.
I should, and like I'd love to actually like get in like actual shape because I'm a tubby piece of shit, you know. Now here's the thing. Weirdly enough, because of my time at that gym when I was hanging out with my friends, now mind you, none of my friends are like super in shape either. They had like this like punching machine. We were at like this was actually at the tail end of the 2020 election, and we were like all drinking and celebrating because a guy that I know had won, and so we're like going at it, right? And
like local election.
yes, and so like. With that we were at like an arcade. There's like a punching machine, and so even though there were some people who were like more in shape than me broadly, like as in like thinner or like you know like that, because I had the most experience with like boxing, I had the strongest punch out of them. Now, granted,
Is that the little bag thing that you punch and it swings up into the machine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, those ones are fun. I haven't done one of those in like ages.
Yeah, so that was really, really fun, and that made me like confident that if I actually got in shape, I could be like good as far as defending myself. But the problem is, like you mentioned with like stamina and shit, like me having a single strong punch is like neat, but if I actually had to like fight somebody, if that doesn't immediately knock them out, you know, then I'll be like, oh shit, I'm winded. Oh, what do I do?
I don't have cardio anymore.
Haymakers are always a risky move. If you connect, they're pretty much done. But if you miss, all your energy's gone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's
it's like
I used to do jiu-jitsu when I was little. I used to do
jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu, and I always got paired with people who were either like much older and taller than me, or much fucking heavier than me. And I was like a small kid, and I did not progress too fast because I could not do the moves on these fuckers who I could not move.
Get good. Anyway, I'm planning to get into MMA once the gym's open. That'll be fun.
I don't know. I don't really do any fighting anymore. The only stuff I'm good at anymore is like CQC. Like, cause like my dad like teaches military how to fight, and inadvertently, there was one time I tried to like jump scare my dad. And he came out of the kitchen and I went, "Hoo!" And he chopped me in the side of the neck and I fell to the floor.
Jeez.
And the thing was, he said, well, you shouldn't have scared me then. But I scared him, he stopped, and I counted 1, 2, 3 before he chopped me in the side of the neck. So he thought about it. And he did it willingly. But between that, him, my uncle nearly made me deaf.
How's that?
He shoved his thumb up behind my ear, and there's like a spot behind the ear where, like, if you press it in, it causes a lot of pain. All my nerves are dead.
Oh,
like there's like that space in between your shoulder and your neck. You touch that, people cripple. Mine's dead. My wrists are dead. All my nerves are dead.
But just walking around like a zombie.
I'm dead on the inside and the outside, so.
See, this is why I would like, we'll say, to kind of give credence to your advice, Rick, I'd like to actually do stuff with like either a boxing or kickboxing gym, because like I, like many people who have not fought before, think that I would be great in a fight, you know, in a sense of like, oh yeah, I do this and it'd be great. Like that thing you see in like the Robert Downey Jr. like Sherlock Holmes thing, you know?
Discombobulate.
Like, yeah, well, no, like as in like you plan to fight out like in advance, you know, like you plan out in advance and they do exactly as you think and you like take them out like super cool. That's how I would like every fight to go. But then I'm looking at it at like drunken brawls and like other fights from like, you know, like security footage and shit, and I'm like, that never goes down that cleanly. Like it looks honestly like like some people, they throw a few like jabs in here and there, and then they're on the floor, and then they're just kind of like flinging themselves at each other. I'm like, well, unless they're both genuinely retarded, then they're then they probably had the same idea in their head.
Thing, right? If you know how to, if you're good at MMA, it would actually help you in street fights, in my opinion. I think, yeah, absolutely, because.
Yeah. In my experience,
I want to learn, because my current conception of a fight is literally just like, to put it bluntly, I need to stop watching anime because I think I'm such a fucking badass. Because I'm like, oh, I'll slip past this thing and do this, and yeah, it's like no. I need, I need.
What
to
about
get this...
the? Okay, wait.
Like,
The
we need to get back to the movie.
What about the movie? What about the movie? I think we're done with that.
Let's sum up our general thoughts. I'll say, to comment on the final fight scene, that thing where they bounce the fucking shell off of the ground through the bottom of the tank. I'm like, that's bullshit, but also amazing.
No, it's actually it's doable. It is doable.
I'm sure it's doable in the same sense of like me being able to make like a perfect shot with like a sniper rifle from like.
No, they didn't plan for it though. They didn't plan for it that way. They just wanted to hit the bottom. They didn't plan for it that way.
It's a cool shot. Like it's really cool and like great. It's just a matter of like that just seems so like even later in the scene where the tank shells bounce off of each other mid-air, like that kind of shit is like it's
like 1 in 1,000 type of shot.
Yeah, that's bullshit. But it looks cool, so I don't care. I love it. Do your thing. Like that's the whole final action scene. Is like all this is very improbable, but I'm having such a good time.
So the rule of cool. Yeah, the rule of cool. When they first rock up to the town, the Russian tank commander stops, and that harkens back all the way to the first scene when the German tank commander stops outside that village. He stops because he knows something's not right. Everyone's fucked off. We're going into an ambush.
Yeah, but
I think to sum up,
like I wasn't going for a scene by scene.
To sum up my thoughts, I think this film is just great. It's great fun.
Yeah,
it's great fun. It's absolutely. It's the best thing that I could say about this film is the way they build tension, and that's the best thing I can say about this film. You know, they build tension extremely well to the point where you're actually involved with it, and it's like, holy shit, you know, the adrenaline kind of courses through you as well, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, so like, I mean, this was like my first like movie that I've seen that is like Russian, whatever Russia's Hollywood is called.
We're gonna call it Rollywood.
I thought we called it Slavywood.
Slavywood.
Yeah.
I mean, either way, whatever we want to call it. At the end of the day, I was surprised by what they can put out with a budget so small. Like,
yeah, no, well, that's the thing too. Is like when we talk about like small budget, I think we say small in the context of a Hollywood movie because you know,
small budget in Hollywood is like 50 mil.
Yeah, because like most of like the modern like bigger releases are a minimum of like 100 million. You know, like almost all the MCU and DCEU movies are 100 million each. You know, any major thing released by like Paramount or Fox is gonna be 100 million each. You know, and like maybe they'll do like one that's only 40 million, and they'll be like, oh, this is an indie film. And I'm like, it's not, yes and no. Like it's
Look here, man. You have for Hollywood, you need the bunch of money to finance your pedophile rings.
That's it. Maybe that's it. Maybe all the money goes towards like paying off the cops or some shit. And you need
or getting the children from far off lands to harvest their adrenochrome and fucking mess up their buttholes.
We'll ship in some choir boys from the Vatican, and we'll pay off the cops, and we'll rent out this hotel for all the actresses and actors who have to sell their bodies in order to get the role. We'll put these lawyers on retainer because when the actors and actresses decide that now they're big enough and they don't need the help, they'll sue us.
Yeah, and they'll try and get you canceled.
I mean, to be honest, I mean, all those Hollywood producers and shit, yeah, they're absolute scumbags. But I hold no sympathy for someone that used the industry standard in order to get ahead. Oh, you slept your way to the top? Yeah, everyone knows that you did, and I don't care.
I mean, Harvey Weinstein is actually it's not like, oh, he's the only one. That seems to be the way it's done in Hollywood. It seems like the praxis
he's a scapegoat. In that point, they're like, okay, we will admit that he did it in order to say, oh, well, he's the only one who did it. You know, since they all threw him under the bus, like, oh, I wouldn't have done this to him if I was complicit. Har.
I mean, who was the like producer that tried to sexually assault Terry Crews? That brave bastard.
It was some woman.
It was a man. It was a man.
Yeah, as a man.
There was a man that tried to sexually assault Terry Crews. What size of balls do you have to go after Terry fucking Crews?
No, or I mean,
your head.
I feel like I feel like he thought that he could leverage.
He was there with his wife.
He could leverage his position of power over someone who has actual physical power.
Even still, like Terry Crews was there with his wife, and he got assaulted. And then all the Me Too people decided to shit on Terry Crews because he's a man.
His name is Adam Vennett. The person who
piece of shit.
Yeah, Adam Vennett. Allegedly sexually assaulted Terry Crews.
Allegedly.
Like, I would actually believe it.
Well, accused of. Like, I have no motive to like defend the guy.
Looks like an egg. he looks like an egg with a goatee.
You should put him on screen. Let our small viewer base look at it.
This is what you have to look like to get away with assaulting Terry Crews. He's an egg with some fuzz on his face.
Oh my god, he definitely looks like someone who would sexually assault someone. To be honest,
yeah, Terry. But I'm expecting to like assault a small woman. If Terry Crews could eat him,
or a child,
and, like, yeah, well, it probably does do children, but like Terry Crews could like accidentally fart and he'd send him flying.
Fucking Terry, man! Like, I just. Here, I'll post it for you guys too, so you can see it. But like, god damn,
I'm just.
Is he allergic
I'm
to
not
eggs? What the hell? I can't see him looking at this dude, this fucking weak chin motherfucker,
no, I'm not
and just like
anywhere.
Man.
I mean, he's Terry Crews is what, like 6 foot fucking 5?
Oh, he's a huge man.
Adam Vennett is apparently like 172, so he's like 5'5" or 5'6".
Jesus.
Terry Crews is like a foot taller at least.
Man.
Yeah, but like the funny shit was like all these Me Too people just shitting on him because, oh my god, you're a giant man. How could you?
Yeah, you're a giant man. You obviously were not actually sexually assaulted. But I mean, like, you see that now with all like the super straight stuff. Sorry to bring it up, but like The
Oh,
super
why
straight
not?
thing
We're all
has done
drunk.
one thing. The super straight's main thing that it's accomplished is like highlight hypocrisy within the greater LGBTQ blah 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 community. Because you can't make up your own sexuality. Well, that's all you've done for the past 10 years.
And like here's the thing though. Yeah, with the super straight thing, it's like it's a great meme in my opinion, because it like forces people to
It was
acknowledge.
a great meme, but now people are actually starting to fucking embrace it, and I'm borderline about to just for the fucking crack.
Yeah, I mean, see, here's the thing, right? It's like saying, if you're gay, then you're discriminating against women, and if you're a lesbian, then you're discriminating, you're hating
That's it.
on men.
There's super straight and then there's super gay. So super straight is biological female, or if you're a female, biological male, and then super gay is like the opposite. If you're a male, biological male, female,
No,
biological female.
I get that. Yeah, but my point being, if you're saying super straight is like transphobic, then you have to say like being gay is misogynist, which it doesn't work like that. You know, there's so it makes them face their own bullshit.
They ain't gonna face their own bullshit. They're happy to live.
Yeah, that's why
that's all like the left in that group does.
No,
They
like
live
they
and breathe
can't
hypocrisy.
deal with, and another thing is the
The amount of death threats too on Twitter, Jesus Christ.
no, here's the thing, right? Like, yeah, them sending death threats and all of that. That's okay. No, what I wanted to say was, the vehement like hatred and you know, pushing back against super straightness. It's kind of extremely rapey in my opinion, because to say that you have to like admit that you're willing to date these people that you don't want to date, it's weird, and it's rapey. It's really rapey.
Yeah, I mean, you posted a video on mine the other day of this woman on TikTok saying she doesn't tell people
that she's trans, yeah,
or whatever. Yeah, that's in
that's
this situation.
just rape, isn't it?
In this situation, it would be I don't know if it would be rape, but I don't know what to compare it to.
No, I'd say it's weird. Like, I think, like, and yeah, about that woman. Okay, so she said that she knows a bunch of trans women who don't tell their sexual partners that they're trans, and I'm like, you say it's for your own safety, but you're literally just like lying to people, and like, okay, and the other thing is, okay, not to be, transphobic or anything, but most of the time, if you aren't a virgin and you're not extremely drunk, you can definitely tell the difference between a trans person and biological person, and especially when it comes to genitalia.
I know you can tell. I know you can tell if you look at Jessica Yaniv.
Like,
I mean, if you get to that stage where you pull the pants off that thing and still think it's a woman, woof.
Yeah, I mean, like, okay, and that's the thing, right? So it's either you're basically taking advantage of drunk people or virgins. There's no other group that wouldn't know the difference, and I'm sorry to say, but that's just true. It's not. There's very, very few trans women that you can see and say, "Oh, I don't know that this is not a biological woman." And yeah, so I think it's definitely skeevy, if not rapey.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, to kind of slightly, I mean, and by that I mean completely get back on the track of it, I also really like this movie.
Which movie?
There was a movie?
Yes, there's, I really like the movie. I think the only issue I had was the romance, and it doesn't take up much of the movie, so it's like, whatever. I like the acting and the sets and the visuals. Like, the action went over the top, but, like, the drama kept very grounded, which I think is, like, playing both to their strengths, which is good. Like, sets looked great, costumes looked great, and I'm sure it's a bit hyperbolic in the sense of, like, yay, Russia, fuck Germany, Like, but I kind of expect that given where it was made, you know, and like the Russians are very particular about their movies. Like this stuff, it's like it had to be very pro-Russia because there's a movie called Death of Stalin, which is amazing, and that one is very Russia critical, and they banned.
Is it not a comedy?
It is a comedy, and it's a more of like a dark comedy, but and it has Steve Buscemi as Khrushchev. It's amazing.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and they banned it in Russia. And here's the thing, no Russian actor actually wanted to work with the movie because they didn't want to get, like, gulagged, you know, whatever, so everyone speaks in English. And they banned the movie to the point where some people did private screenings of it in Russia, and they arrested the people who were watching the movie.
Did you ever see
I mean, that's how it works with
Well,
authoritarianism.
and they're so fervent about it that a very select number of people in Russia, like media reviewers, were allowed to watch it and discuss it without like showing screenshots of videos of it. And there's a podcast, a Russian podcast, where they got into a fist fight over this movie. Like they actually got into a fight in the middle of the recording.
what was that? What was that North Korea piss take movie?
Wasn't that like
The
Rogan
interview?
thing? Yeah, the interview.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wasn't
Where
that a
was
Seth Rogen one?
It was Seth Rogen and James Franco.
Yep.
God, Seth Rogen's been making a goddamn
Seth
fool of
Rogen
himself.
has turned into a big bitch these days.
Yep.
He's been making a giant fool of himself on social
Yeah,
media.
he got into a fight with fucking Count Dankula.
That was funny as hell. This guy, man, holy shit.
This dude like spends his entire career like doing offensive shit, and then starts to fucking gatekeep it.
Yeah, I mean, this is the way it works. Generally speaking, when things get big, when they get popular, they generally tend to turn into like the toe the line sort of thing. I noticed this.
Yeah, I see.
Extremely common.
Sarah Silverman did a video the other day where she is like doesn't want to be a part of like the Democratic Party anymore
Oh,
or Progressive Party. Like she I can't remember what she
Sarah
said. but-
Palin's a Republican.
No, Sarah Silverman.
Oh,
the-
Sarah Silverman. I'm an idiot. Sorry. God damn it.
You know, big Jewish mommy milkers, that kind of Sarah Silverman. You know
Oh yeah.
what she's best known for.
yeah, because you know what comes out of her mouth is not as interesting as what should be going in.
God damn it! All right, fine. Brick has PSP. Say your final thoughts on the movie, then we'll just continue to shoot the fucking shit. We're too far gone anyway.
We're too far gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are too far gone.
Fuck. Right. So again, I'll say it for like the millionth time. If this is like the standard for Russian Hollywood media or whatever their equivalent is, I'm impressed with what they put out with so little funding. I enjoyed the movie. Like, whatever. You said it was like 2 hours and 15 minutes long.
2 hours
I
and
honestly
19.
thought- 2 hours and 19, okay. Well, I thought it was only like an hour and a half long, which means that it captivated me enough that I did not perceive time the same. There's a lot of movies that have came out recently where I am well aware of how long the movie is taking to pass.
Oh, there's some films that I look at the time as it's going. I'm like, holy shit, how much more is there?
Yeah. Like for King Kong, for the most recent example, I looked at my phone's time a lot through that, going, Jesus Christ. Like I have in my notes, I had like timestamps, like we're only 20 minutes into the movie and this has happened. We're only like 60 minutes into the movie and this has happened. Whereas I have nothing like that for this movie. It just felt like it progressed at a pace that would keep me captivated and interested, even though it was standard movie length, apparently.
Yeah,
Like-
just about. You know, it's a very easy ride. Like, you know, spend a lot of time thinking like, oh, what's this problem or what's this thing? You know, like nothing pulled it out of like the scene for me. You know, whereas like I
I
watch
don't
other
know,
things and
like,
I'm like, this is retarded.
Maybe it was because like it was subtitled and I had to read and it kept me captivated more. Whereas like with other movies in English, I can like look away and do other things while still understanding what's going on. But it it just felt like this movie was more interesting than any modern Hollywood piece that I've seen, any Western media that I've seen recently. It just seemed to surpass that. I don't know. It was a good movie.
Yeah.
I liked it. I recommend it.
I definitely recommend it. I think we should all divest ourselves from Hollywood, just in general. I think it's just way too long that it's had a monopoly on stuff.
That's,
I think
I'm
they've,
for that in like a lot of things. Like, get away from Hollywood, get away from like big tech, get away from like all that shit. You see, Motorola put out like a new flip phone that's like touchscreen. It's like pretty baller. It's like
No, I
it's like
haven't
the new
seen that.
Motorola Razr phone. It's like a folding touchscreen phone.
Yeah.
I used to love flip phones when I was younger. Man, I fucking love that shit.
Oh, I loved flip phones too. They were great.
Oh, I used to have this. It wasn't a flip phone. It was like a
The slide phone.
slide. They were classes, just constantly going. I'm surprised that thing never fucking broke. It still works to this day if I charge it.
Yeah,
Doesn't
I
work.
mean, back in the day, they used to make phones in ways that
They built
they
From the
would
last.
just never. They were built to last.
Yeah, like
Back
back
in
in
the
the
day,
day,
like-
they never had like the idea of like redundant technology. It was like, yeah,
It's
this
like
phone,
we got-
someone's gonna buy it and keep it.
Yeah, it was like back in the day. It was. I think companies just generally had more ethical standards. They were just like
The good old.
they wouldn't. Yeah, they would say like, "Oh, if we make the most durable phone, people will buy them." And now it's
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
"Oh, people are gonna buy our shit anyway, so we're gonna make it so it fails in like 2 years."
Well, that's with the likes of Apple and shit. They're like, every year we're gonna put out a new phone. Don't worry.
And
we're
we
gonna-
know that they're gonna buy it anyway.
Yeah. Like Apple, they still do it. They still the updates they push out make their old phones worse.
Yeah.
It's not like they eventually put out an update that the old phone can't be compatible with. It's that they push out an update that makes the old phone worse.
Incompatible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you have an old Apple phone which is like 5 years old or maybe a little more, you'll notice that like half your apps just stop working.
I had an iPhone 4S, and around the time the iPhone 6 I think was out, I couldn't install new apps because they were all like, "You need this software." Tried to update the phone. You can't update to the software because your phone is incompatible.
Yeah,
I mean-
that's like a huge problem.
Like,
And-
here's my take on that. When we talk about like planned obsolescence kind of thing, it's like, I don't even think that companies became less ethical over time as much as some of the less ethical companies had always existed, and they just usurped the market by using unethical practices to gain a leg up. You know,
Well,
so then like you have.
I
Like,
mean, I think you are kind of right, because I like back in the day you can think about the ones that were really more popular, which is like Nokia and Motorola and stuff. They're and BlackBerry, but nowadays they're just like completely pointless.
yeah, like no one has a BlackBerry anymore unless you're using like really old ones for like techie reasons. You know.
Or
Like-
in a company that has like gives you a company phone. And they
Yeah.
usually use BlackBerry because they have those. They're like BlackBerry kind of rebranded itself as kind of like for corporations, for companies, and as a more like
Mhm.
professional. It's like the LinkedIn of phones.
Yeah, it's like it's a bit more of a secure kind of back end option, and it's like it's cool. But the thing when I talk about like market stuff is like people don't look for that as much. So when Apple decides we're just gonna make anything really, really pretty, you know, and it's like
I remember-
all right, everything's pretty.
When
And
I
that
got-
takes over the
We're
market.
gonna make like the best camera in the market because we want to sell to hoes that want to take crisp and clear pictures of their arseholes. to
You want a
send
good
to their-
OnlyFans, don't you?
Yeah, exactly.
When I had a
Do you,
BlackBerry,
no,
I
no.
remember, like,
Unironically, I think OnlyFans and TikTok kind of.
have destroyed
grew.
the world.
I mean, yeah. The
I mean-
consequences of OnlyFans and TikTok has been a disaster for the human race.
Like I remember like a couple of years ago, if your nudes were online, your life was over.
Oh yeah, I remember those good old days.
Remember that thing called consequences?
Remember those?
I remember when I had a BlackBerry, I could type like 100 words like a fucking minute in that thing. Like that little tiny keyboard, I was like a machine on that.
Yeah.
And like even before that, like the phones that had like the I can't remember what you call those keys, but where they had like you had to type the button a certain amount of times to get the right letter. I could type way faster in those things, and I don't know why.
Yeah, the ones that just had numbers.
Yeah,
and you had to like
the alpha numpad where it's like you have to press like 4 and that's like okay, L M N O.
Yeah. I could type like a boss in those things. Oh, apparently that Motorola Razr phone has a setting that you could like swipe down and then go back and like you tap this button and it flips to that like old fashioned phone, like it has the buttons down there and it does that hello moto.
Yep.
Oh yeah, hello moto.
Really cool. But Google had this project in the works. I don't know what happened. They've obviously shit canned it. Have you ever heard of like Google's Project Aria?
I've heard the name, but I have no idea what that is.
Google had this thing in the works where it was a modular smartphone. So it would be like you would buy the skeleton, it was called, and you could like slip in a battery.
Oh yeah, the modular phones. Yeah, I remember.
You could slip in a battery. You could slip in memory. You could slip in like a shitty camera if you wanted more space for other things. Like you could put in like a 40 megapixel camera attachment, have 2 batteries, have like 1 SIM card slot, have like this much memory, and they've obviously and you could replace the screen with like new screens as they came out, and they obviously shit canned that project because well, if you take away the need for people to buy a new phone every year and have to spend like $1,000, why would they do that? Why would you not just buy the skeleton and then upgrade parts as you want or need?
I think that's one of it, and the other thing is, I think I think it's a little unfair to say that was the main thrust of it, because the other thing is people are generally
Project Ara,
lazy.
sorry, not Aria.
Okay, look, then they're also kind of lazy and they're not very technically inclined. So modular phones like this are more for the tech savvy sort of people who know what they're.
You didn't need to do anything. Like these were just like things
yes,
that you
no. Even that much is quite a lot for some people. You don't understand. Like there's a lot of people who just they just want things handed to them. So that's what I'm
like
telling.
every Apple fanboy is just like, yep, just give me the new one, please. But like, imagine like this thing, like it was all you needed to do was like, what if I'm going away camping for a few days and I have no access to electricity? I'll slot in 3 batteries to give my phone 6 days of life. Like, bare minimum, all I need is battery and phone connection.
That's also too much for some people. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised for some people, but like for like,
no, the average, you don't understand the laziness of the average consumer.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
I know how you're coming at it, but like
it's absolutely true, and it'll vary based on market too. But like, I'm into like audio stuff. You know, you can tell from like the mic and but I'm getting headphones. You know,
it had that too. Like you could buy like a soundboard attachment. Like you would slip it into the bottom at the back, and you would have like essentially a sound bar at the bottom of your phone.
Yeah, and like there's all sorts of shit there. Like I'm looking at like when I have like the headphones that I go for, like there's user reviews, professional reviews. Like I look at that shit, and most of the people I know, they're just okay with one that like just has some good bass and has Bluetooth. And like, now mind you, I admit I'm a bit more nitpicky with that. Like I'm not an audiophile, but I am. Let's just say I am. Like I'm a bad audiophile because I don't actually have the $5,000 bullshit. But like, I listen to that and I'm like, ooh, this doesn't really sound better with like an amp, But then people are like, I just want to listen to Drake's new album,
Yeah, but like,
and it's not relevant.
Look what you pulled up in the on the screen there for the.
But buy my new album. It's called the Winged. It's called the Winged Jew.
All right, so what you've pulled up there The gray piece underneath all those like sliding pieces or colored pieces is the skeleton, and like you could put any part you wanted in there, and you could buy different size skeletons. You could buy a skeleton that was like maybe a small touchscreen phone. That's all you needed, or you could buy like this big full handheld piece.
Well, you know what this
And you
is?
could-
This is literally just like the, hey, build your own PC, and then everyone else is like, I want a
Yeah,
PlayStation.
Exactly.
That's it. Though this phone, if enough people got into it, it would kill any smartphone out there.
Yeah.
Oh, so
That's the thing. You just don't
you-
understand how stupid and lazy the
Apple
average consumer is.
every year, Apple's like, oh, our new camera is like a megapixel better, and it does this. Okay, I will slip out my old camera and put in this new camera.
Yep.
Instead of spending $1,000 on a new phone, I could spend maybe 50 quid or 100 quid on getting this new top of the line camera.
Yep. Well, it would have been neat, you know, but that's the thing is like a lot of people just like they don't want to deal with any of that shit, and like
But, yeah,
They
I
don't.
mean, I guess
You
you're
don't
right.
understand.
Even
They
with
just
a
don't
PC,
feel like they have the time to even do like the most basic and basic
building a
research. They just
PC
want.
building a PC is easier and cheaper than it seems. Sure, you have to buy the parts, but once you do it, like you can buy the parts and have like the company assemble it, but like they assemble it for like another 200 quid.
Chad is asking who's eating.
Brick, what if
Oh, it's
you
me.
eat?
Stop.
I'm allowed to eat.
No.
I'm eating popcorn.
Stop it. Don't do
You
it.
guys are just racist.
No. no. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. We're
Yeah,
talking
like,
about that. Like
I
I see
thought
that. Like this is.
I thought you people weren't meant to have food.
Like this is a big American thing, right? Because I'm like the cost of like a meal at like fucking McDonald's, right? You just get like a meal. It's like, hey, here's a Big Mac, here's some fries and like some like soda. All right. It's genuinely like even with like cost of gas, it's genuinely cheaper to go to the store, buy some buns, buy some like ground beef. And like so, like just to get the ingredients like raw from the grocery store, then go home and like grill it and cook it yourself, and it's gonna taste better. But no one wants to do that, and that's why McDonald's is a multi-billion-dollar like company, because they're like, I want this pre-assembled hamburger instead of like actually cooking a better tasting hamburger at home, and like that. So Apple is like the best, and like you have like these custom things. So like there are some phones actually, like I don't know the name of it, but like my friend has a phone. It's a smartphone that's like more ruggedly built, and it's compatible with like SIM cards and stuff. So you can have these better ones, but it's like, yeah, it's like third party. It's like aftermarket.
No, all phones are compatible with SIM cards. That's what they need.
I mean,
No.
Like,
So some of the ones in the US they don't use SIM cards. They just come pre-built with. They come pre-built with. They come pre-built with a plan. And you're kind of like locked into the plan.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to.
Who the fuck thought of that? My phone has like a slot for 2 SIM cards.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I say these ones are compatible in the sense of if you can remove it from your current phone, you could just put it into this new phone, and your like phone company is gonna be none the wiser. You know, that's why I mean in the sense of it being like
for a while, like the main thing for phones that if they got low on charge. Like the battery was like at the end of a stage, you could replace the battery, but now you can't even do that.
Yeah, man,
but like,
gotta go to a repair shop, pay a fee, get licensed to be able to even do that. Like some shops
the
are
Apple
like,
geniuses or whatever.
Yeah,
and they
gotta get
like half the time they just say, oh, you gotta replace it.
Yeah, if Apple want to charge you for like their services, they'll charge you like a couple of hundred quid to replace a battery. Where if you take it to a repair shop, they'll charge you like 45 quid. But Cherry Trap there has like the right idea. Building a PC is easy. I built my girlfriend's PC maybe in like 40 minutes. Maybe if I took longer, I could make the cabling look pretty. We took it away to do like a guy to like professionally like do the cables because to be honest, I couldn't be fucked. But if I had made the effort, wouldn't have had to do that. She can't hear me, so it's okay. But like. The stuff that she has like a 3080 in it. She has like water cooling. She has the buttload of fans, like 1,000 watts power supply unit. All that shit would like be like a $6,000 PC if you bought it like pre-made. If you buy the parts separately, it's only like maybe 3 if you're lucky.
Yep.
Another thing, like America's parts are like cheaper than ours as well. I really hate.
You can actually get parts delivered from America if they're cheaper, then you can just get them here.
Hmm. Wait, in India or like UK?
Well, in
Wherever you
some
are.
undisclosed region of Europe.
Oh man, don't want people to find it, huh, Brick?
Oh yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah, man.
Like I've saved up like because I'm saving parts like to build a PC at the minute. I've got like the case, the motherboard, the CPU. I have enough money. I saved like £1,000 pounds or whatever. Like I think that's like I'll do the conversion now. £1,000 in US dollars.
It's a lot of money.
It's like 2,000 something.
I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah,
So
man.
a thousand Great British pound in US dollars is 1,400 more or less.
1,400 Freedom Eagles. Wow, that's a lot of them.
So I've saved that up to buy a graphics card, and it's nowhere in fucking stock. No graphic cards in stock anywhere. I want to get like a 3080 so it has some longevity behind it. But like between scalpers and companies just not putting out the parts, there's nothing on the market.
Yeah, I wish I had money.
I wish I had money too. I save for this thing.
I'm broke as shit.
Well, we can
Boy,
start
didn't we
making stuff once the site takes off. You know, I think
Did
it'll
you
be good.
Yeah,
did you
that's a dream and a half, isn't it?
Maybe
Did you
maybe
get
it
a
would
new
happen
laptop
if you
yet,
would
or-
remind our content, man. My Echo video's been sitting there for weeks.
Oh yeah, I'll do that. You didn't tell me. I just saw it on
It's
YouTube.
your own thing. It's your site. I shouldn't have to tell you.
All right. Yes, you're supposed to tell me because I just saw it on YouTube when you posted it.
Okay, well, it's also
You
on
should-
mine's. Pretty please remind that. Thank you very much.
All right.
Goddamn.
did you buy that new laptop yet, Brick?
No, I haven't done.
So I donated to your birthday fund and you haven't even spent the money yet. Give me that back. I need that money.
It's still there, okay? I refuse to use it for anything other than a laptop because that's not fair. So
Well, how
it's
much-
still sitting there.
I mean, how much did it amount to? Like, would you be better
I think
buying
like of 480 euros, which is quite good, I think.
and then you
That's
have your own
nice.
money as well for it, don't you?
Yeah, I have some money, but I'm just waiting. I'm saving a little more, and
Like,
we'll see.
Do
And I'll take
do you need a laptop, or could you like?
Yeah, I couldn't do a PC because I'll be moving soon, or I might have to move. You know. So
How did
it's
your
like,
how did your interview go the other day?
oh, that was okay, I suppose. Yeah, I made it to the second round. And the second round is next week, so let's see.
Good shit, man.
I remember when I was doing like.
Oh yeah,
interviews-
the
basement.
picture in the picture on the screen here. This is the modular phone, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish that took off. It seems really cool, but it just didn't. Scalpers should be castrated. Yes,
Man,
I mean, I agree.
Nah, man, it's like I hate when they have like these really cool things that just like never take off because like not enough people like understand it, you know, like
That's like it is so simple. They look someone will look at that and be like, I don't understand. And they'll look at
Exactly.
a PC and
But
they'll
that's
understand
the
it.
thing,
They
right?
don't understand
What
how
you
easy.
gotta-
These are like
what you gotta-
these are plug and play parts. You just slide them in, click them into place, and you're good to go. A PC is the fucking same. It is just plug and play. Well, I mean, granted, you have to install drivers.
let me give you some context for this that might help you, and you probably already understand this, but I'm gonna make an example anyway. Like,
Probably, I just hate people.
have you both seen Doctor Strange?
Yes.
No, actually, I've not seen Doctor Strange.
Okay, well, Brick, you've
I have
seen it. Would you call
Yeah.
Doctor Strange a overly complex movie?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
No, but not by any stretch of the definition, right? Okay, well, for
No,
comparison,
absolutely not.
because and here's the thing, they asked me to show them this movie because they like Benedict Cumberbatch, all right? So I'm like, okay,
Who is
here-
they?
my grandparents. Sorry.
Okay.
So I was gonna start with
Now
that.
kill
anyway.
him.
Yeah, so my grandparents, they wanted to watch that movie. And so I'm like, okay, here we go. I show them that, and they stopped watching it half an hour in because they're like, this movie is too complex. You know, like there's too much going on. I
Wow.
don't like this. Yeah, so
I
like,
mean, they're
that's-
old people.
I get
so-
that, but now here's what I mean. Put that in the context of like a broader like audience, you know? Now, like, with that in mind, if something like as not complex broadly as Doctor Strange will be interpreted as too complex for these people who are in the market, and you'd be surprised, there are a ton of fucking old people who buy like smartphones and like digital gadgets that they don't actually understand, but the simplicity of it makes them think that they do. And now bring that into this, and that's like, no wonder this thing didn't like have a takeoff thing. Like, it's hard enough for me to explain to them
but the thing
how their
is,
fucking Android
Doctor
works. Everything's
Strange
modular.
Smartphones are
No,
easier.
they would be calling me every fucking day and be like, "How do I slot this in?" I don't like. They would actually be upset. You know.
I had
So-
to. My grandma came into my house once when I still lived at home with my parents. My grandma was there, and like my mum directed me to my grandma. Was like, her phone's really slow. Like she can't do anything on it anymore. What the hell? Can you have a look at it? So yeah, I took my grandma's phone and I opened it up. And I mean, it was slow definitely, but I couldn't see anything wrong with it. There was no like weird apps or anything. I go
Yeah.
to like one of her like her Google Chrome app, and there's like 50 or 60 open tabs. Like half of them are porn.
Yeah, but
Not
they're
like-
like the
Not like
pop-up
genuine
ads.
porn pop-up abs from like shit she's clicked on Facebook. And
Yeah.
to be honest, I just wanted to teach her that. So I showed my grandma, why are you looking at porn? So my grandma nearly had a heart attack. But I just deleted them, and then I went through the phone, did like a doctor sweep, and like cleaned all that shit, and then the phone ran like fine. The issue with like smartphones is that old people, it's pretty easy for old people to use. Like you just tap where you want it to do. It's none of this like fooling around shit.
Yep.
But then it's the big tech companies that decide to fuck them. Like Facebook offers no protection. They'll host like any store on their platform.
Yeah,
I
man.
don't know.
That's kind of what I mean. So like, and not to say that like my grandparents aren't like the core audience of like any given thing, but what I mean is just apply that mindset to people in broadly, because I'll be honest, like if I like my grandparents are like normies as far as like their approach, you know, they're like, oh, looks like a nice thing, I'll have that, and they don't like think deeper. Like if I ask them, why do you like this movie, you know, they'll be like, oh, it was enjoyable, and like they would never be able to stand like a session like this. We talk about like acting, sets, direction.
I mean,
like,
it's
pacing.
the right idea. It's the right idea. Why think about things? Just enjoy them. I mean, to be honest, it's been like 5 or 6 years. I still like ask my grandma if she's got any porn on her phone. Just
And like here's the thing, there is nothing wrong with inherently like enjoying something, but it also becomes like a matter of like things that are arguably significantly better but just are a bit more complex, just like just like go by the wayside for so many people. Like I have people who are like gamers in a more traditional sense, and by that they play Madden, they play Call of Duty. So I show them a slightly more complex game, and they don't even dislike it. They're just like, their mind is blown. No joke. I showed my friend who's like that. I showed him Days Gone, which you guys know from my review or had a lot of like issues. All right.
Like I've
Yeah.
known a lot of people that have only played sport games on their phone, and like when you
Yeah.
show them anything else, they're amazed by what the actual console they've been playing on for years can do.
Yeah, like I showed him that with like driving around on the motorcycle, and he's like, "Whoa!" It
Whoa,
like
there's
shakes when
something
you
else?
land, when you go off a jump, and I'm like, "Yes." It's like these very simple
I
things.
mean,
it's
but
like,
not to sell them short. Madden is actually a very enjoyable game.
I
like,
don't knock the
FIFA,
games that they
um,
enjoy,
like,
but they're just
people
very
over here-
rudimentary. Is all.
People over here
Yeah.
only play like FIFA and shit.
Like I don't like watching American football, but I played the Madden games and I had a bunch of fun. So yeah, you know,
Yeah, so
I don't
that's
want to sell
fine.
those games short.
There's nothing to sell short about them broadly, but it's more a matter of like the variety of games they play. It's the same way of like if I was talking like, you know, like a girl that I know and it's like, oh, I'm a gamer, and it's like she just plays like Candy Crush on her phone, you know, like it's not an inherently bad game. Well, maybe that one is, but it's just they don't play a variety of things. So when you show them something outside of their wheelhouse, it becomes like amazing, you know, like when I show them like any other sort of genre. Like, they just are kind of like, and not that they'll go out of the way to play it, but they'll be very impressed in the moment with like what you can do.
Dude, and the worst thing is to like show people like RTS games. I'm like one of the worst RTS players out there.
Yep.
So I've been at the other side of that. And like they show me these RTS games, I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Like, what are these decisions?
You know,
Like,
I'm
what
the
is
same way. I am retarded when it comes to like RTS or like real-time strategy, turn-based strategy, like all those strategy games. There's like an overhead with like a map and like resources, like that.
Yeah, I can't do that. Like, I don't know why. It's like I've tried to get into them quite often. Like my friend got me like Civilization, one of them Civilization
Civ.
Go.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way,
like,
NHL was
players.
amazing. Like the Korean is saying NHL is like one of the
Hockey
funnest games.
Yo, I need to pee. Do any of you guys want to like hear me pee, or can I do it in peace?
No. Go.
Just
I don't want to
God damn
listen
it.
to you pee.
No, but like here's the thing.
But yeah, have you
Those
guys
are good.
played NHL, the EA NHL games?
Yeah.
Holy shit, they're so fun.
They're great. Here's the thing, like the only thing I have as far as like the EA Sports like line, my only criticism of it is that they're just like a very repetitive kind of yearly turnout sort of thing. You know, like unless we're talking about like the apex of it, you know, like if I said like, oh, is Madden like 2K19 or I don't even remember the names, but if it's like the 2019 version, is that like leagues better than the 2018 version? And most people will be like, whatever, you know.
Mostly it's like roster changes and certain other things.
And at that
maybe
point,
a couple of
like I would ask them something like, would you prefer that the game just be updated yearly, like maybe buy like a $10 season pass to get that update instead of spending $60 every year for what amounts to basically the same game? Like,
yeah, it's
that's my only criticism.
Also,
of that.
another
like,
thing is there's actually a burgeoning competitive scene for sports games.
yeah.
For example,
FIFA
like
is like has a very fervent fan base.
FIFA has like huge tournaments and stuff.
Yeah.
FIFA and the other one, what's that? Pro Evolution Soccer, or I don't even know if they make those games anymore.
I forget who makes them, but like I know there were like streams that I'd watch sometime of people opening like card packs for like things in the FIFA games, you know, like and like thousands of people would watch that, and to me who don't play them, it's like an entirely foreign concept. Like, okay, so he's opening cards, it's like, oh shit, it's that one guy from that other country and it's got a gold star next to it. Whoa, man.
Hold on, and in chat, Korean is saying he tried playing StarCraft 2 for like 15 minutes and gave up. Are you actually Korean? I don't think you're Korean anymore. Like if you can't play StarCraft, are you even Korean anymore? I think you lose your identity now.
Man, like, and that's the thing too, is like, and like I have no criticism broadly of RTS games except for they are a great way to make me feel stupid. Like I can play and beat most games, but that is the one game where I'm like, well, clearly a lot of people in the same sphere as me can play and beat them and enjoy them. So I'm like, where's my stupid ass here in this whole scenario where I'm like, how do you move the troops? You know, it's like I can't fucking do it.
When I was in college, like obviously it was IT, so there's a bunch of guys that played this same type of shit. We all played like there was like 6 or 8 of us that played like RTS games.
RTSs are basically autism simulators.
I'll not lie, yeah. We used to play Total War, I think it was like 2, where it didn't have like a proper online mode, so we had to like save it and then email the turn, like the save file to each other.
Geez.
Like I would take a turn and then I would email it to someone, he would take his turn and then email it to the next player and the next player and the next player and the next player until it came back to me. That was pretty bad, but still playable. We used to play like Civ together, and it was really bad because like this one guy, I had a shit laptop, which took a while, but like this one guy had like so I have like a 300 megabyte like internet connection at the minute. This guy, he had a not 1 megabyte connection.
Jeez.
So when it was his turn, it took a bit of a while for it to pass. But to be honest, like games like Age of Empires and shit, sometimes when they played like we had this like one guy who would like he always played England and he immediately rushed longbow, which was like OP in AoE2.
Yeah.
And he would just like build like towers and walls and put like archers in between the layers of the towers and walls. And it was really cheesy, but you know.
Yeah, but like
I
to not to sell myself short.
I don't enjoy like professional level RTS, like those like pro StarCraft players. Fuck them.
Yeah, that's for the Koreans mostly. But like, here's the thing, right? Not to sell myself short. Like I can actually like think strategically, but not at the level of just like direct these armies and shit. So like if I was ever in like I'd make a really terrible like tactical commander in a war. But like if like I mean of course, you know, we'd all probably be total shite in war. But like if we're gonna talk about
See, I had a plan, all right, because like everyone here, for the past few months, it's kind of calmed down now, but for a while, people are like, Civil War when, you know? So then, when we all were like drinking, have a conversation, like, okay, well, what are you gonna do when the Civil War breaks out? And I'm like, I've got a perfect plan, all right? So I'm like, I'm gonna get a sniper rifle, go to the top of the radio tower, like the really tall radio tower in like our neck of the woods, and then I'll be so high up that no one can hit me, but I've got the long gun so I can hit them, you know? And they're like, that is exceptionally fucking brain dead, because the instant you take your first
they'll
shot,
just hit the tower.
They'll know where you are, and then they can just hit you. And you
can't go anywhere.
And they're like, you can't go anywhere. And they said, even if they don't have like a sniper rifle of their own, they don't have to be super accurate if they just keep spraying you with bullets, and it only takes one or two to take you out. You know, and they said...
Nests always seem like a good idea, but like anytime I think about it, no, like the best idea for a sniper is like get in the brush just a bit above, fire the shot, and then move.
Yeah, and see, that thing there is like, I told them, but here's the thing, if they can't hit me from that far, but even if they can, and I pointed my back, and I'm like, I've got a parachute, so I'll just hop off the radio tower and like leave.
How tall is this radio tower?
Yeah, it's fairly tall, like
I'd
I'd say.
Is it more than 100 meters?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
But like,
you might have time for your parachute open. You'll probably die.
Well, here's the thing. So like, I do the parachute and go down there and do that. But then here's the extra double sneaky tactic. All right. I will then immediately climb back up the radio tower, and they will have thought, oh well, he's running away, so they'll not expect me there. So when they go to look for me from where they thought I ran away, I can snipe them again, and they're dead. So I will.
You were very drunk, weren't you?
Yes. Now, and I was convinced it was the perfect sniping position, because I'm thinking of it, to be honest, from a video game, where I'm like, oh shit, they won't be able to aim for that. Like, there's the mouse sway. They'll never be able to hit me. And it's like, I would not last long. They're like, you would immediately die. They said, best case scenario, you get one guy by surprise. And that's not enough to take out, like, units or battalions or whatever the fuck the term is of, like, people.
Yeah.
You know? So no, I'm not tactically minded enough. Every tactic idea I've had for that is like a meme, you know? Because I said, but what if I have a shotgun? My shotgun will be good for close range, and my sniper's good for long range, so you'll never get to hit me.
Sometimes I run scenarios in my head, like best case is long range weapon and constantly moving. If you're by yourself, obviously. But even if you're in your own like battalion or unit or legion, whatever, you could maybe fire 2 or 3 shots with a sniper before you have to move. It's pretty easy to pinpoint a sniper. If you can get like 1 shot, okay, you know it came from that direction. 2 shots, they're in that area. 3 shots, there they are.
But yeah, like anyway, back to my original point. It's like if I had to lead people, I'd probably have a really tough time. But like thinking on my feet and stuff, I'm pretty decent at that. So I'd probably
by yourself. It's easier because the only person you have to be responsible for is yourself.
Yeah.
You know exactly what you're capable of and shit.
like like I'm pretty good at like card games and such.
Oh, I just
Like
broke my chair.
Yu-Gi-Oh and MTG and shit. I was usually pretty good at those. So it's not like I can't think ahead or plan out my moves and shit like that. But when it comes, but yeah, the best thing to say is like if it was like a card game, I'd probably do well. But if it's like chess, then I'd be shite.
I remember when I was little, we used to play Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh jeez.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Dude, have you seen newer cards? They come with like a wall of text. It's insane.
Haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh since I was like fucking like 13 or 14.
No,
but, like,
I haven't either.
We used to print out these like bullshit cards. Like eventually Yu-Gi-Oh became boring, so we just got like these bullshit cards that we just made up in our heads and played them instead. And it was the absolute fucking dog shittest game you've ever seen. Beyblade was cool too.
Nowadays, you should look at these cards. They come with like
I
have a huge wall of text.
I have a perfect example. Here's one from Yu-Gi-Oh. It is Endymion, the Mighty Master of Magic. Look at that. I'll post it in the video here too for the stream. But,
all right, let's have a look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, we're like so super good and drunk now.
Whoa.
All right, what am I looking at?
Is that like from like a new Yu-Gi-Oh card?
It's from like like.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that's a
like
lot.
The only thing that's recognizable to me is the attack and defense thing. Aside from that,
and the stars. I guess.
The name, yeah, the type.
So,
and
this is
and
a
the type.
pendulum summon. This came after the series where the anime was where they're on motorcycles. It's not that one, but the one after that. And yeah.
I think right. The only Yu-Gi-Oh anime I watched was the original one with Yugi, and then I think I watched Yu-Gi-Oh GX for a while.
Yeah, after GX was 5Gs.
God,
and
I
they
can't
ride
even
motorcycles.
understand this.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Someone explained it to me like a month ago, and I've completely forgotten what it means. But like, you need a certain number of like counters from the pendulum thing to like summon it, and that's like. And there's like you need 8 of each of those on there, and that's like its effect. And I forget what the rest of it is, but
the entire system of D&D is less complicated than that card.
Yes, like that's the thing is like there's so many little things here and there that you have, and there's like, and those 2 numbers aren't part of the card specific effect. That's like a broad thing that they have. Like, and that's not the only one that has that complex like bullshit. Like, there's other ones that are also like pendulum ones. I don't even know what pendulum means in this context. I think it's just like you have to set stuff up to do other things later, and that's like the thing, And like this one, I think is it's just dumb. I don't even know if it's that good. Is the thing. Like, it's probably good, but like it's so complex.
It has a lot of words on it. It's probably decent.
Yeah. Like, and I think this one is a joke. There's one called Blue Eyes Sacred Dragon. I can't actually even read it. Like, it's actually so
wait.
I can't read it.
Pull that up. Pull that up.
All right, here, I'll pull it up. All right, here, here's that for you. And then I will put that up as well. Just.
Oh, there's no way this is real.
That's what I mean, but it's not too far off from what's actually on screen. What? It's not too far off, though.
I've expanded. Hang on, let me view original. I can't even read that. I've expanded it to the most I can, like, if I zoom in. No, I can't even read it.
No, it's probably a joke, honest.
It's probably a joke. Well, I'm gonna look it up just in case. I'm gonna check and see if this is actually a joke.
No, it's bullshit.
Hang on, I'm gonna Google it.
I mean,
all right.
I can't remember the last time I saw like a fucking. I think there was Blue Eyes, and then there was like a Blue Eyes dragon that had like 3 heads. I think that was the extent of my knowledge.
No, it's a deviant art thing.
Okay, that explains it. It's not real. Yep. Yeah, so it's not actually real. But it's still funny. It still fits the theme of like what the actual fuck is that saying?
Like I can understand what they're trying to do.
Yeah. I mean,
like even like when like the what do you call it? The Egyptian things. What do you call them? The Egyptian god cards. Like even their like descriptions were getting a bit long at that point.
Yep.
Yeah, what's a Slifer the Sky?
Slifer the Sky Dragon.
Cypher the Sky Dragon.
Yeah.
Some big blue cunt, and then the Winged Guardian of Ra.
Yeah. Obelisk the Tormentor and Winged Dragon of Ra. I had no childhood.
Did you know? Over the years of playing Yu-Gi-Oh when I was younger, I only successfully summoned Exodia once. Oh, and I legitimately had the real cards of Exodia. How much are they worth now?
At the time, they're worth like 150 for the whole set.
At the time, like when they were new.
Yeah, well, I say that because at my card shop, because I had all sorts of like little decks and everything that my parents would get me, and when I went there, they had Exodia up, and it said
well,
like
now it's like
£150
£28.
And so here's the thing: at the time, when I was a kid, because I had no conception of money or the world or adulthood, I thought when I'm an adult and I'm rich, I'm gonna buy that, and then my life will be complete because I'll win every Yu-Gi-Oh game.
I mean, yeah, it's incredibly hard to do.
Yeah, you have to like summon all of this.
God of greed.
No, you have to summon all of this shit and then like sacrifice them and make Exodia.
No. If you have to have them in your hand. If you summon one of them, you automatically win, or something.
Oh.
Either you have them all in your hand and you automatically win, or if you summon one and you have them in your hand, you win.
I think you need to have all 5 in your hand, is the thing.
Like
you can't summon individual ones, or at least if you do, I don't think its effect takes place.
So I'm looking at the Exodia, the Forbidden One, the headpiece. So when you have the right leg of the Forbidden One, the left leg of the Forbidden One, right arm, and the left arm, in addition to this card in your hand, you win the duel. So if they're in your hand, you automatically win.
Yeah, so you actually cannot play them individually as far as like wanting to win the game with that.
Card. What a bullshit card.
Yeah.
It's a gimmick win condition, I guess.
Yeah. I think obviously that type of shit would be banned in tournament. Did you ever see like
It's so situational because, to be honest, if you have any card that says discard your hand or something, then like they're done. Unless you have
automatically
a way to get it back.
lose.
Well, you lose your automatic win because unless you have something to get something back from your graveyard, it's like what the fuck
but that just means you lose, right? Because you've done all this setup for your automatic win.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then you just lose.
Yeah.
But did you know like they had to like introduce deck limits in Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments because there was like this one guy that came with like a however many 1,000 card deck. And it was just made up of like magic cards.
You had 2 dudes who had to carry it.
Yeah. It was like a 2-meter long case of cards, and like it would just be like every turn he would play this card that made him have to like shuffle the entire deck over again, and he would just play that until like the opponent forfeited because they didn't want to wait around any longer.
Yeah, like I'll post this here for you guys. It's actually hilarious, and of course they're wearing that fucking outfit and those fucking hats.
The fedoras of power.
Yeah, look at this shit. It's
oh jeez.
Yeah.
Of course. Oh my god, I hate nerds.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I am one.
I was about to fucking say, like, you're not excluded from that group. Look at these guys. Look at that.
It was a 2,222 card deck.
Jesus.
Yeah, man.
So it was 100% just for the meme.
Yep.
God, imagine trying to shuffle those.
Well, that was it. It would take him like if you did like batches of like maybe 100.
No,
cards.
they brought a stand for that.
Oh,
like here, I'm gonna post that too.
I hate nerds.
They
they
have a stand for this thing. And
but they're not really nerds. They're clearly exploiting the system for the win. They won until they did the deck limit.
No, is this MTG? Because there's no upper limit.
It's Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, I see.
Magic the Gathering definitely has a limit.
No, it doesn't. It only has only a lower limit, which is 60. There's no upper limit. But the thing is with Magic, the more cards you have, the lesser chance you have of winning.
It needs a minimum of 60 cards. Oh, that's kind of weird.
Oh my god, they have the stand for the entire deck. Jeez.
Yeah, man.
What the fuck is that? This is
It's a
constructed
giant like wooden stand so that they could shuffle all of them.
God, just
if I saw those dudes like walking towards my
I would
table,
beat
I just like
these people up. I would beat them up.
that's illegal, Rick.
Man, they have a
Is
weapon.
it?
Like the deck case, they could use that like a fucking baseball bat and just.
Fairness, like if they had enough momentum behind that case, you'd die. If that connected with you, fucking the shocking. What was it? I used to like collect Pokemon cards when I was little. I had like
I think everybody
Yeah.
used to.
no one used to play it. No one knew how to play it, but
Yeah, no one knew how to play them. Yeah, exactly. I didn't
But
know
I
how to
had-
play them, but I love the cards anyway.
I had this folder that I had was like individual Polly Pockets and like individual slots for cards, and it was
Yeah.
almost completely full. I also had this like overspill box that was like just completely full of like must have had like 1,000 cards in it. And my mom,
Yeah, and like once
my
I
mom-
learned the rules of Pokemon, I was no longer interested in playing the game.
it's boring as shit. But like, I threw out like all the fucking energy cards. So like, what's the point?
Yeah,
just
I was
had
like,
Pokemon
I don't use these, but then you found out that they actually are used in the game.
My mom threw them all out, and like I remember like a couple of years ago, I was looking at the prices of some cards that I used to have, like ones from like special edition cards from movies and shit. I
Yeah,
used to have, and like they're in the hundreds of pounds, and like I fucking hate you, mom. I fucking hate you. You're going into a home.
yeah. Like I used to have this Charizard card, and apparently it's expensive now.
My cousin had that OG Charizard Char. How the fuck is it spelled?
Charizard.
Let me see.
Yeah, the one where it's like kind of ducking or something.
Yeah, it looks pretty shit.
I think yeah,
Oh!
we definitely it's definitely a drunken
Hi.
stream now, considering where we once were. You know, topic
Oh, we
1,
finished
tank movie. Topic 2, look how long this Yu-Gi-Oh deck is.
But like so the highest price here is like just shy of $500.
Yeah, I actually had one of those. If I'm not like, and I was like
Oh,
pretty
wait, no,
happy
sorry,
with
sorry,
that.
sorry. The highest price is just shy of $5,000.
Oh shit, I could have been rich. But I have no idea where it is, and I don't even know if it's in good condition.
No, it's probably like 5,000 is obviously like for the mint condition one, but like
Yeah.
I mean,
I
even
doubt
if
it's
I had,
mint
like,
anyway.
all the cards- yeah, if I had all the cards that my math threw out,
We
I don't know.
Like, there's some people I know
We'd be
who
rich.
do like stuff with like on the mention of like rich and card game stuff. Some people don't even play the game. They just like look at the market and they'll like buy certain cards so they can like invest in them and then like trade up with
That's
them later.
Didn't Twitch ruin that market?
I think they
There was
made
so
like the broadcasting of
like,
it like
They-
bad, you
There's
know.
like all the cards have an
buying Pokemon
economy,
cards.
but like CS:GO also has an economy. Team Fortress has an economy.
Yeah,
like
like they have economies, so even if you don't play the game, like actually, you can still have like investment and like make profits off of these things, and it's like really bizarre that they have stuff like that, and like it's
CS:GO especially because like it's
there's
just
like, a
like
nice
skins.
market. Like yeah,
Yeah, it's just knives and
But the
and it's
knives
just
and
skin
CS:GO
for your
ridiculous.
guns, and they're like upwards of like $50-$60, and I'm like, but these just make your gun look prettier, and why is it so expensive?
Yeah, no, that's it. Like I mean, in CS:GO, I think the only good skins I have are like the Dragon King and the Worm God. I have like no special knives.
like that's the thing too. Is like there are websites that are set up for like trading
Dedicated.
and like yeah, like there's a like it's like marketplace.tf2.net or something or whatever. I don't know if that's the actual name, but it's like they're like, oh, here you can buy all these TF2 weapons and trade and sell, and I'm like, that's like an entire website for a single game's economy. you know.
A lot
like,
of them got shut down though, didn't they? Because of gambling or some shit.
Well, no, they shut down some of the sites because those ones were like they weren't trading, they were gambling. Like, as in, they would be like you would put in money, and they didn't have like an age
And they
limit
gave
or
you a
anything
random
else.
skin or something.
Yeah, they'd give you like a random skin, but it basically was like gambling. And so they had to shut that one down, especially because the way they were operating the site was that they had people who were working for the site doing streams where they would get massive amount of like success, whether it's rare skins or like big profits, and none of them disclosed that they actually work for the site.
Jake Paul did something like that as well, like with some loot box shit.
Yeah, and they never disclosed that they work for the site, so like they were literally
screwed. Like people got really pissed off with them.
Yeah, well, it was like an unethical business practice because they did a stream as if they were like a neutral
Can you guys hear
actor,
me?
and like yeah, we can hear you.
I think people were like giving like the big prizes to like people that were also connected with the website.
Yeah,
So
well, that's the
it's
thing
safe.
with that. Like they basically portrayed it as if everyone was going to win by making it so they would win, you know. And hey, Ricky, welcome back. They Well, he disconnected momentarily. Can you hear us, Brick? How you doing?
I'm okay. Yeah.
I am okay.
As I was saying with Jake Paul, he had the same like loot box crap, and he opened some of them on his YouTube video. I don't know if it's Jake Paul or his brother or whatever, but he opened them and he got like these really good sneakers and stuff, and he basically sold this loot box website to his to like children, and
Yeah.
I don't think anything happened to him because of it.
Well, that's
Yeah,
the thing.
no,
It's like it's just very unethical because like you're not disclosing it, and it's basically like for that specific stream, like rigged so that they won right away. And it's like, oh wow, look how easy it is to win when like they actually.
And it's just like recorded content or something, and it's
Yeah.
just like it's faked basically.
Yeah, it's like it'd be the equivalent of like a guy who owns a casino coming over and is like, check out our slot machine, and then like on the second try he hits a jackpot. It's like, wow, you could get a jackpot so easy.
You could make shit tons of money.
Yeah. but then-
In the chat there, Jamie brought up that CS:GO has obviously contributed to EA's ideas for game mechanics, and that's a major thing that all like the microtransactions and shit have like absolutely butchered the gaming industry. Like the likes of what's that fucking like anime? Genshin Impact.
yeah.
The only way to like complete that game is to pay, essentially, unless you have like an absolutely no life and you can grind. Genshin Impact is a Breath of the Wild mod that has pay to win behind it.
They just said, all right, here's Breath of the
yeah,
Wild.
that's
We're gonna
why
make
it-
it a bit more weeby. Because it's already fairly weeby. but
That's
make
why it
way
looks
more
so
weeby.
familiar. It looks just
the,
like
the art style, like the stamina system, everything is ripped directly from Breath of the Wild with a slightly new character system over the top of it.
huh. I
Yeah,
didn't
there's,
think
like-
of it like that.
Yeah,
If
if
you
Breath of the
watch the-
Wild, throw
Breath
in
of the
some
Wild-
like gacha style waifus, and then everyone ate it up.
Yeah, 100%. If you put them side by side and like compare the two of them, I mean, there's no.
Oh yeah, and
difference.
several of the animations were actually ripped straight from Nier Automata as well.
From what? Sorry.
From Nier Automata.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've never played that. It looks like a decent game, but
Oh, it's fantastic. I love it. It's great.
I saw there was a trophy that you could get for like looking up the skirt of the character, and I was like, I want it.
Well, here's the thing. That is true, but it's basically when you try to do that, the character like smacks the camera away, like as in like fuck off. If you make them do that enough times, you get the trophy.
Which one?
In Nier Automata, if you try and look up the main character's skirt, she slaps the camera away, like get the fuck off me. You know, if you do that enough times, you get a trophy.
Isn't that the same in what's that one?
Lollipop Chainsaw.
The walking simulator.
What? What's that one?
In the one where you carry like stuff across and you walk.
Oh, yeah. That's a Death Stranding. Yeah, if you look at his
Yeah,
crotch for
Death
too long,
Stranding.
he punches the camera. So yes, a very similar mechanic.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because
I mean,
if you
there's not really
glance at it, he just gets a little bashful. But like, and here's the thing, that is carried over from Metal Gear Solid 5. Because in that one, there's a
You can do that
Quiet
too?
who's the boob lady. And if you stare at her tits or her ass or whatever, then she'll get like really mad at you. But if you follow her for like the romance path, then she'll do it intentionally when you do that. Like, God damn
Yeah,
it.
there was like I got like a good relationship with her, like unintentionally. And like if you're in the helicopter with her and you just like look at her, she'll eventually like walk all the way up to you and just like dangle her tits in your face.
Yeah, like she'll intentionally like sort of like tease you with that if you have like a high level of like, you know, friendship. It's God damn.
Oh yeah, right. So if you look in the podcast
That's
chat,
trending,
I
yeah.
posted like Breath of the Wild v like Genshin Impact, 100% the same.
Yep.
Like all the assets and shit are 100% ripped from Breath of the Wild.
Yep.
And the only difference they've done is they've added random chests that you need to like pay to open.
See, and that's why like there's a game called what is it? Immortals Phoenix Rising, and I really like that game, but that one is also a Breath of the Wild ripoff. The difference for that one is that it doesn't steal the art style or the gameplay itself. It just steals the
Is
broad...
it a phone game as
No.
well?
No, it's not. And it's, well, I mean, it has the same game mechanics, but not the same gameplay. As in, like, the melee combat is not the same at all. The movement is not the same at all. But the world is the same. The level progression, the world progression, like, all of that is the same as Breath of the Wild. But actually, that's, like, some good story, good writing. Like, I was kind of surprised, because I'm like, I mean, a few things. Like, your weapon doesn't break every 10 seconds in this game, so I'm like, oh, I don't have to hunt for random sticks? Neat. It's, I'd give it a recommendation, but it's heavily based on, like, Greek mythology, so if you don't like Greek mythology, you're not gonna like the game as much. But, yeah.
Oh, by the way, what do you guys think of there was this woman in England, and she's like, we need to have a curfew for men after, like, 6 p.m. Did you guys see that?
Right.
I heard people talking about the broad concept of, like, women walking alone at night, but I didn't know that's what spurned it.
You know,
some drunk Indian woman just came to my front door. Can you tell her to fuck off, please?
no. No, but like,
Oh, yeah,
the best way to
there was a
protect
woman that went
women.
missing.
So I was like, why should men have a curfew when you can just like make women stay in the kitchen, and where are they going to get hurt if they don't leave the kitchen?
What is the number one protector of women? It's men. Men protect women. If I'm out with any female friends, like I'm like if there's like creepy shit going on, I'm on like a fucking hawk.
No
sounds
joke.
like simp behavior to me.
Here's the thing. You all know how like pervasive that
pay
is.
for my taxi home so I don't have to walk.
Like there's a woman at my workplace, all right, where we worked the same like night shift, all right, but she didn't want to walk out from the building to her car like alone at night, so she tried to like entice me, like as in like oh, I'm into you and whatnot. Like I was genuinely not interested, but then she's like, walk me to my car. I'm like, okay. And here's the thing, she thought she was like, it was working, like she thought she was like successfully flirting with me, and I was like, I just wasn't interested. But at that point I'm like, well, my car is like in the same parking lot as yours, so I okay. And well, the thing is, like, the fact that she didn't feel compelled to just ask me, as in she didn't ask me in the sense of just like, hey, can you walk me to my car, I don't feel safe. It's like whatever, like,
yeah,
she felt
like,
the need to like try and like,
why didn't you just
well, no, she felt the need to like, try and seduce me to make me compelled to do that. That's what I mean. Like, as if I wouldn't just do it because I'm a nice like person, you know.
Just imagine, like, if a dude asked me like, yo, dude, can you like walk with me to this place because I don't want to go by myself? It's like, yeah, all right.
Yeah, like at that point,
No
like I might just give him a little bit of a ribbing, like, oh, what are you, pussy? Sure, let's go, But like. This chick assumed I wouldn't help her if I wasn't like romantically interested, and I'm like, that's just kind of for me insulting. So I'm like, no, I'll just like. And here's the thing: imagine if it was slightly different. Imagine if a dude came up and tried to like flirt with me to get them to walk, and I'm like, what is wrong with you?
I just suck some dick.
That's what I mean. See, like, seduce me. I am not good of your chicken horse. Walk me to my car.
Well, that's just the truth of things, though. Women use their sexuality for many things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like, I wouldn't say it's a weapon, but it's a tool they use for sure.
Well, that's the thing. It's like it wasn't even like a malicious thing. It's like, and I even like confronted her about it, and I'm just like, and I just said like, I'm not like interested in you, right? And she's like, oh well, I thought, and that's when she explained that thing to me, and I'm like, no, like I'm not an asshole. I'm not gonna be like, fuck you, go on your own. Like, we're coworkers. It's not a hard concept. Like what's the harm at that point? And I think I wasn't offended so much by the thought of it, because she wasn't trying to trick me in the sense of, like, a scheme. She wasn't like, oh, I will seduce him, and then I will get the protection near the parking lot. It was just like no thought to it. It was just so natural, and that's the potentially...
That's
not
what
upsetting.
makes it more scary, though.
Yeah, it does, and it's like...
It's like this is something that you would just pull out as a method to get what you want.
Well, and the
that
thing
makes
I
it a
was
little
looking
bit
at is,
more
I told
weird.
you I have no idea if I'm going to be good in a fight. So, like, let's say some dude actually was there to try and, like, accost us or something. It's like, what am I going to do? Am I going to, like, puff out my chest and be like, leave the woman alone? Like, I'm
Well,
not...
no. See, at that point, you are the one that has to get raped. I'm sorry.
Man, it's not... I don't
You
want
have to
that.
defend her. No, you have to defend her. You best spread those cheeks, boy.
Man, I don't... No.
You gotta put your arse on the line.
Man.
Put your ass where your heart is, man. But like, like fucking this like 6 p.m. curfew in the UK. Like, they couldn't have picked a worse time for it. It's 2021. See, I'm gender fluid, so past the hour of 6 o'clock, I'm a woman.
Yeah, my gender changes when the curfew strikes.
Yeah, that's it.
And
like,
you can't even say that that's stupid
like,
or it's wrong because
yeah,
it's
like, what are you gonna do?
2021.
I'll fucking sue you if you come against my fucking sexuality, you bitch. You fucking bigot. Are you saying I'm not a woman at 6 p.m.?
My relationship with gender is that when the curfew strikes, that triggers me into turning into a woman for a while.
Like, you know what they need to do? Do the exact opposite. Have women have the 6 p.m. curfew, and then all the guys just like flood into the streets at like 6:05, and then it just becomes like a big like party.
No,
like,
just prevent women from leaving the kitchen.
Well, like, I'm just thinking, like, imagine you have a bunch of guys where like normally they're like kind of walking around aware, and they're like, oh, the girls are gone, sweet, and they just like break out the beer, and, and it's like the Purge, but no one dies and everyone has fun.
Fuck, yo.
Although, to speak on this, I know it's not like the point we were making, but when you hang out with just guys, it's so much different from when there's a girl present.
Yeah,
like it's
mostly
extremely different.
I mean, if it's just guys alone by themselves are pretty fucking gay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
To dodge that, Jimmy brought up something there in the chat about a Panda Express cult, and I looked it up. Panda Express workers pressured to strip at like cult-like gatherings.
That sounds like a blast. Fuck? I want in. I'm gonna look for
Panda Express workers pressured to strip at cult-like seminar. That sounds like a fucking party, man.
I mean, mediocre Chinese food and a cult. What's so bad about that?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to like helicopter my dick while eating some fucking Kung Pao chicken.
You have this. A
former Panda Express worker in California claims a lawsuit that the Chinese fast food joint pressured her and her co-workers to attend a seminar where they were made to strip down to their underwear in a cult-like ritual. What the fuck? I mean, of course it's California, but...
I mean, like, I would absolutely believe that. I'll say, to be honest, when you have this stuff of, like, ex-employee kind of, like, alleging weird stuff, I always take it with a tiny grain of salt, because it's like, oh, I lost my job and I'm angry. What's a really, like, harmful thing I could say, and then they could just, like, bring this up, and then it's like, and I'm saying this not because to say I don't believe this specific person, as much as like it's not uncommon for people to lie about their former employers because they're spiteful, you know. And it's like, okay, so a Chinese restaurant has this like weird cult-like thing for their employees, and they expected no one to talk about it. And if they
Log's back.
No, but like if
How
this
many
is the
fucking
only
gigabytes
person,
you think this recording is gonna be?
well, we're
Well,
streaming
how
this. I'm
long
not
do you wanna
recording
talk
any of
about-
this at all, you know. So
How long
like,
do you want to
I
talk
don't know.
about that?
How many do you think the stream VOD's gonna be? Tell me. I'm so concerned.
Do you want to talk about the Panda Express sex cult or not?
There's a cult for that?
there
Yeah,
is,
Panda Express
allegedly.
employees are forced to strip.
Yeah.
Forces you to strip. What the fuck kind of?
Eh,
Never mind. You live in
look,
Europe.
somebody
Well,
must
this is
have.
in California.
You know.
No, I was just about to
California.
ask what country he lived in. And I was like, oh wait, he lives in Europe.
Well, no, I'm saying the Panda
Me?
Express
No,
thing
no.
happened in America.
We don't have Panda Express.
yeah, we don't have them
Does
here
it
either.
look like I live over there?
Yeah,
they don't
but
have. They
it's
just
in
have. They just have Panda.
Only I
Like they
live
just
in
eat it
Europe,
raw.
yeah.
Like it's not express. They just have.
Dude, I
the
go into
animals.
my Panda Express, whatever the fuck that is, and I just. Oh, it didn't pick it up. I just slurp the bowl. That's what I do.
I don't know. It's only in California, so I don't think we have to worry about it.
Well,
Yeah,
California is a bunch of disgusting fucking freaks, and I'd love to just bomb them, please.
Fuck them.
Nuke
You know
California.
who else?
No, I got a
how
meme
tactful.
specifically for this.
A meme for California or a meme for naked Panda Express employees?
For California. That what the fuck? Why would
I've-
I have a meme of
I've
naked
seen
Panda
Look,
Express?
Panda Express, Chinese food, Chinese, Asian,
Shing
Asian
Chong
naked.
Ping Pong.
CC might be impressed by some naked Asians.
No,
It's alright.
man. The number
I
of
wouldn't
people
mind
who
some
are Asian
naked
who work
Asians,
at
but it
Panda
depends
Express
on the
is
type
like
of gender.
fucking zero. All right, like it
Yeah.
doesn't.
No Asians work at Panda Express. That's just like insulting.
No,
What
it's
about
all
Asian
white people.
Croatians?
Every Panda Express I've been to is just a bunch of white people. All right, it's not.
Hey, do you like flavor in your Asian food? Not here.
Well,
Croatian
unironically,
Asians.
when I was out in the States, Panda Express was pretty good, especially when
But
you're
I
drunk.
never went to fucking Panda Express. This is a goddamn lie.
Nah, man.
I mean,
like, Panda
Do
Express.
they
the-
have Indian? Do they have like Chinese food in India? Because
You'll find
Yes.
one like every 30 miles.
Do they?
The Panda Express is rare.
Nah, man. They're the kind of people who'd like wash the rice with a fucking colander. I don't want to do that.
I would just go to local Chinese food. It's everywhere. It's great.
I know. I like it.
Pretty much.
you know what I'm.
You
what
guys
I'm
are just bunch of racists, basically.
Does anyone have
Okay,
an
here you
opinion?
go. Here's the
Wait,
meme.
have I tried the walnut shrimp at Panda Express? No, I only had like the orange chicken or something.
What is this?
The orange chicken was pretty decent
What is what?
at Panda Express.
Oh. Just get rid of California. That's the
What?
answer.
Did nothing change at all? Tell me. I don't think anything changed.
I think you know what we should do. We should get rid of Meghan Markle and fucking Prince Harry. Actually, he's not a prince anymore, is he?
Who? Harry? I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah.
so.
I'm pretty
Harry?
sure.
Give him a fucking trim.
I'm pretty sure.
Dude,
Fuck off.
Dude, like I don't know how much of the
how
story
much?
regarding
How
are
much
true.
of a fucking simp can you be?
No,
that
like
you
I don't know how
marry
far.
your-
Oh,
Like
are we talking about the fucking British people and they're like
No.
because they don't want their
They're
hair to
Ameri-
be fucking brown?
They're American
okay.
now.
okay, listen. I don't know how
Are you-
far.
She's
I
Canadian,
don't know
isn't
how. I don't know how far like the stories about them are true, but like from what I'm
I don't
reading,
believe
it's
any
like no, like she apparently like she made him like quit drinking tea.
No,
and stuff?
No,
No,
sorry.
she makes him give up all of his hobbies
She-
and interests, like all of
She
them.
made him. All of his hobbies and interests are gone. He can't drink alcohol. He can't drink coffee.
You can only drink
Yeah.
your own urine.
No,
She- He's
the
probably on that
story
fucking
said that
kombucha and water.
he was supposed to apparently quit tea as well, and I'm like, but he's a Brit. How?
Right. So
It's like their national drink.
I mean, this former royal. I don't think he's royal anymore because of her. No longer royal. Had to give up his.
Now he's just covered.
Had
in
to give
red.
up his antique gun collection of over like $50,000 worth or something.
And he had to
So
move
she-
to fucking California, didn't he?
And I had to
Can
move
you
to
explain
California.
to me why there's someone in chat named
That's the
Jukebox
biggest
69?
problem. That's the biggest simp move. Is
We don't
moving,
make comments on our viewers' names.
Yeah, like
I
moving
love their
from
name though. It's so good.
like no, I
Why
mean
can't we
moving
have
from
like 3 more of them?
no, I
But,
mean
like,
moving
but
from
there's-
a palace in England to a shithole apartment in California where you pay like
there's a bunch
five.
of people. There's a bunch of people trying to compare Meghan Markle to Princess Diana because the royals don't like her. Ignore like all the fucking charity work that Princess Diana did and the walking across minefields and shit that she did. Meghan Markle got pregnant by Prince Harry, the naked Nazi, and made him give up all his
about fucking UK. It's all just
No one cares. But the fact they're trying to make her out
if
to
you
be
throw an orange man in office and you start calling him racist, I might care, but like I
No,
don't
but, like,
care about the royal family.
he's got
Genuinely.
orange hair. Is that close
I mean,
enough?
Boris Johnson is pretty pink, so maybe we
But
could.
he's not orange.
But right, so imagine like you could have been a princess, but you decided to be a bitch instead.
I mean, that's women.
What was it like? I mean, she said that like the Royal Institute like denied her like access to like mental health care because of some shit. Pierce Morgan like walked away from his job because he called
He
her
said he
out for it.
didn't believe her. He
Yeah,
said he didn't
I don't believe her. I don't believe her. I think she's full of shit. Her sisters have come out. One of them said that she is like fucking
Pathological.
narcissistic.
I thought you were
One
gonna
of-
say her sisters come out of the closet.
who the fuck cares or knows? But one of her sisters said that she has narcissistic personality disorder, and one of her sisters said that she can't use depression as an excuse to shit on people.
Absolutely, they're
Yeah.
absolutely right.
So
Yeah.
What
the
queens?
bottom line is that she's a piece of shit from all I've heard. Aside from her dad, who loves her for her money.
It's not uncommon for people in these positions to have an aspect of narcissistic personality disorder.
Yeah.
Not that it excuses
So-
their behavior. I'm saying, like, I'm not surprised. Like, given
Oh,
my
that was an
background,
excuse.
like, I'm a psychologist, and I'm like, yeah, that's accurate. There's a lot of mudslinging though. It's like it's not uncommon for them to be like, oh, they're insane, they're bipolar, and I'm like, no, please shut the fuck up.
I mean, that fucking that Oprah interview she did was so like fucking.
I didn't want to like. What do you call it? Watch that because I don't care about Oprah. I don't care about these people.
Oh no, I just
No,
like
I
the
don't-
memes.
I don't care.
Like the memes
I
are
don't
that are
care.
great.
I don't care about like any of these people. I care about people falling for lies,
I don't
which is
like
all
the
people
UK.
these days. I don't like the UK.
Oh, did you
like
guys
it.
see the? Did you guys
I
see
was
the?
in charge. Shit would be different.
Did you
you're
see
not,
the
you're Irish.
the new
You're
law
gonna be.
in Scotland? Did you see the
Right.
new law in
Listen.
Scotland? That was insane.
Oh fuck Scotland! What if like the Scotland
Uh,
can't do shite if they got the SNP in charge?
Yeah, you know what they did? They basically said like even if there's nobody who's
Hello.
aggravated, no, even if there's nobody that's aggravated and you said a slur in your own home and somebody heard it, you can be criminally liable. Like
Dude,
even if you
I'm
don't say it
with
to
you.
anybody,
So fucking backwards.
My
like,
name's
even if
Nicola
you say
Sturgeon,
to
and
no-
I'm gonna destroy
They can
Scotland.
take me to court for calling a tranny a faggot. Get the fuck out of my house. Go back to your country.
They can take
No,
you to
you
court
don't
for
even-
calling it- They can take you to court for saying the word faggot. You don't have to call anyone a faggot. Just say the word.
Yeah.
Now they can in Scotland, but I mean, I'm saying in general, they take you to they take you to court and sue you for damages if you were on like the street and you pass someone and be like, "Hey there,
Right, so-
dude," and they're like,
also we should probably refrain from using those words on YouTube. We're gonna get
It's
Oh,
not, I mean, we
well, I'm
already
gonna
said
sneak-
a couple things that guarantee this isn't going to be up. So
Like,
Rick,
as
you-
long as
you
we're
attack
gonna
the
have
Jews,
them in,
okay?
I'm gonna sneak one more in. Like when you said to go back to your own country, do faggots have their own country? Which one is? it?
Yes, it's called California.
Sorry, bro. They
Yeah.
have a country.
They all come
It's
from
called
Germany.
California.
They've made the gay
California
flag
country.
out of a rainbow. I don't care. They have to have a country somewhere. They have an anthem too, I bet.
What's the anthem? I want to know what that one is.
I don't know. I guess it's a
YMCA.
bunch of faggots moaning.
No, I want the
It's
YMCA. They
YMCA.
can't have it. I like that song. They can have any other song. You know, they can have what is
I
it?
want the YMCA. It has to stay.
Yeah, it has to stay because I
Keep
like
the
it.
gay away.
They can have In the Navy. I don't know that. That's another song by the Village People. They can have that one.
I mean,
I'm
all the
telling you,
gays come
dude,
from Germany anyway.
Their
So.
their homeland is California. I'm telling you.
Homeland. Is that why California is also so backwards and gay and retarded?
Yes.
Man,
Ah.
this is gonna be great. When Susan calls me up and they're like, "Why did you say the word faggot so much?"
We're not leaving this up on the channel.
I know.
No, we are.
Well,
CC,
like
if
I
Susan
said,
calls
we're,
you,
we're too late. It's already been said
We
enough
already
times.
left a couple up where that was said. Jesus.
Well,
CC, if Susan calls you, direct her to your manager. I'll be your manager, and if Susan wants to call me,
no, you're not.
I'll make her cry. No, I'll make her cry.
As a
It's okay.
lawyer. Dude, PlayStation Portable as a lawyer will be pretty good. I'm telling you.
I have in the past I have shouted so loud that I have made men cry.
Jeez.
He
Yeah.
literally he has Sony behind his name.
God damn it!
Jeez.
I not. This is gonna be a disaster.
There was
Oddly enough, the other ones are
one
still
time.
up. Like I don't know how,
There
but
was
they
one
are.
time my
Because you
little
haven't
brother
taken them down. Migrate them already.
my little brother once swore at me, and I shouted at him without using swears, and I made him cry and curl up in a ball on the ground. I didn't hit him. I didn't do anything. I just shouted.
I
How
just wanna
old was
say,
your little
generally-
brother at the time?
At the time he was 14, and since then I have made quite a few
He
women
pissed
cry
himself
from shouting.
twice, right?
There was women who once said that I could not make them cry by shouting at them, and then I did.
Shout at me.
Wait, no, don't do that.
Gay boy.
No, do not do that.
Gay boy.
You can do that on Discord later.
I didn't think
At
we
the end,
associate
like,
with each other
I mean,
outside of the podcast.
If you want to direct Susan to me, I'll yell at her. I don't give a fuck. She can
You
ban
think
my
Susan
channel.
is actually gonna come
No,
talk to us? They're just gonna can
At the
us
end of
and
the
just
day, Susan
No,
loves us.
here's how it works, right?
Susan saw
Here's
it
how
like
the
9/11
report
joke and was
system
like, haha, yeah, that happened.
and by the and you know, just before we get banned, I'm just gonna say Susan Wojcicki has got like a dusty pussy, and I have no interest in it.
Does she? I can't even remember what she looks like. I'm just gonna
She looks like an
I don't
old
know.
woman.
Susan
She's a fucking bag.
Wojcicki, blah, blah, blah.
She looks like a donkey if a donkey manifests into a human being.
Oh, that's AOC.
AOC is another funny one.
All right,
We should.
How did you? Why would
No,
someone?
I just got here. I refuse.
No,
Why would someone
we
choose
should wrap up
this?
soon. I've got shit to do, so we should.
We should.
You're drunk.
But, like-
though. What are you gonna do drunk?
I'm not even drunk. You're drunker than I am.
Yeah, I'm drunker than
CC,
you.
CC had one coffee with a drop of like whiskey in it.
Yeah, I'm like
And the rest of us.
6 beers, 7 beers in.
I am surprisingly
naturally
lightweight,
crazy.
despite being a fat ass.
I've done 2 weeks of drinking in the space of like however many hours. While I was in the bathroom there, you know what's funny? You know Asians.
You know
How-
Asians? Yeah, I'm familiar with the concept.
You know them Asians. How like
I'm
it's-
familiar
don't
with the
even
concept.
Start. Don't
Something
even, like, I
downstairs
know where
turns
this is
sideways.
going.
PlayStation.
It's nothing bad. It's nothing bad. It's nothing bad.
Yeah.
I
Right.
just wanted to say,
I
like,
heard their vaginas face sideways.
No, motherfucker, don't do that.
I just wanted to say, like, because I was looking at my face in the bathroom. I'm pretty hammered, but like, I'm pretty normal looking.
What are you, an Asian?
No, when Asians drink, how red
Motherfucker.
it's how red their faces get. I think is quite funny. Like if they take like a sip of beer and they're like, woo!
I mean,
the only Asians that I've ever drunk with are like the browner kind, like you know,
Whoa,
Filipino,
whoa.
like the Filipinos and the Indonesians, so that their
I don't
faces
like
are a bit
the
darker.
Filipinos.
You
I
can
don't
still
trust anything
tell.
they're doing over there.
But like I've drank with some from Thailand and fucking like Japan, China, they like it just goes straight to their fucking cheeks and their nose. They go red as fuck.
Yeah,
I mean,
that happens.
Like half a pint and they're gone. And I'm 6 pints deep going, do you want a second round?
I mean, you're literally fucking Irish. You realize this, right?
Right. At the end of the day, sure. But
the Irish, potato alcohol blood runs through 'em.
that's vodka. We don't make potato alcohol.
If I mention potato famine, what's the first thing that comes to your head?
Potato famine.
Yeah, not you. Just press start to PlayStation's name. The first thing that comes to his head when I say potato famine.
If you say potato famine, the first thing I think is potatoes didn't come from Ireland.
But why are you having a famine of them?
I don't know, because someone thought it'd be a good idea to plant potatoes over here.
When you say potato famine, I immediately think, like, why didn't they do any fishing? They're surrounded on all sides.
Yeah,
by
we're
water.
surrounded by water.
That's something I've always heard raised. It's like, why didn't you just fish?
It only affected like Maine.
I don't even care. Your country fucks up at like one aspect for the rest of your life. You're known as that country that was stupid. Like the Austrians who couldn't kill a fucking emu.
We also did the Titanic.
Darn.
Wait,
do you know how many rich people we killed? Do you know how many rich people we killed?
Wait, Titanic was Irish?
Did you know the Costa Concordia? Concordia.
I always thought it was. I thought
Titanic was the idea with Titanic is that there was the ship called the Olympic was on its last legs, so they switched it and the new Titanic out, and they fucked everyone on the Titanic.
Isn't that like a conspiracy theory?
It's a conspiracy theory that hasn't been disproven because it has more evidence for it than it does against it.
You mean they just swapped the names?
Yeah, like apparently, like they dove down to the wreck of the Titanic, and the letters of the Olympic started seeping through.
Oh,
that's either way. We killed a bunch of people, and so we're pretty good at that.
I need to wrap this up, though. Now that I think of what's
we're pretty good at starving, and we're pretty good at killing people.
So you can't potato correctly, you can't boat correctly. Okay, understood.
Sure, can
kill correctly.
That's pretty much it. Kill. We can kill.
You kill correctly. I don't even know if you do that.
And like,
correctly.
okay, the other thing I was thinking about the potato famine is like, did you not have other crops?
Yeah, no, we did. We had cabbage. We had turnips. Turnips were prevalent on Ireland long before potatoes were. I don't know, for whatever reason they decided potatoes were the way to fucking go all of a sudden.
It's probably a staple food akin to like rice, in that it's not like that doesn't inherently taste better. It's probably just like a bulk source of calories,
it has a good amount of carbs.
It was only like the major hubs that suffered from it, like towns and like villages and shit. They were fine. Towns and villages.
Dublin was screwed.
Fuck England. No one cares about England. Even the English don't like English.
Yeah.
Both English like English, though.
Scots don't like English. English don't like English. Welsh don't like English. Irish don't like English. No one likes the Welsh either.
I mean, the Welsh also.
Like you.
Well, fuck the Welsh. I don't like them.
The Welsh.
I don't know why.
They just want to come back. Why do you do this to them?
Because they sound annoying. They never shut the fuck up.
I mean,
the Welsh can take a 10-letter sentence and turn it into fucking 100-letter paragraph. Wait, what did I say? Word, 100 paragraph. Fuck off.
See, you're just like the Welsh.
No, the Welsh are also gay. And the shy sheep.
Sure you aren't gay?
Wait, didn't...
yeah. I'm super straight.
You're super straight.
No. Okay, I'm cutting it off here. All right, we're heading out. All right, I'm not super straight here. We're already in trouble for saying the F word and the R word and the J word and all the things.
Good word.
Yeah.
Good word.
A lot of words. So, thank you, everybody, for coming to watch this complete train wreck.
Wait.
We're closing out.
Make sure
we had to go soon, man. Like, hey, yes,
we can talk shit after this. Don't worry. But just make sure to keep an eye on Minds or whatever the hell we use for a poll that we will use to determine the movie for next week.
And also, another thing is, keep an eye out because me and CC are working on this video on Mandalorian season 2, and that's gonna be fun.
Episode 1 will
And
be done
watch the
soon.
skies. Watch the skies, because you never know with them alien fuckers.
And also, don't trust women.
You don't trust the women.
Lovely. Thank you, everybody, and we will see you next time.